Good morning, Rose. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, McGraw.
You know, I'd love to go to Holland someday to try on some clogs. Wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you? Wouldn't shoe. So I almost bought a pair of wooden clogs.
That doesn't surprise me. They come in your size?
They do.
No, they
do.
don't.
They make
Aren't they
size
for children?
For big and tiny.
They make size 14.
No.
They are everywhere. Dare I say ubiquitous in Holland.
Really?
Yes. And I almost bought them, and then I was like, "What in the world when would I ever wear these shoes?" And somebody said, "Do you like to garden?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like to garden." Apparently, they're still very beneficial for people who garden.
Why? Well, why is that?
They're easier to clean off. I
just feel like there's
better in the mud. I don't know.
Is there I just feel like they're not. How could they be comfortable?
They're
right?
the original Crocs.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they're kind of the original Crocs.
But Crocs have some give. I feel like if it's a skosh bit tight, your big toe is like.
Well, I think that's why they make them oversized, because you don't jam your size 8 into a size 7 and bear. If you have a size 11, you'll get a size 13, so you can move around a little bit.
Now, you should make a pair with your
you could
with your origin shaper.
No. The last thing I want to make is a shoe. I don't want to make a shoe. No, I don't want to make a shoe. I got enough things going on. I don't need me to start making shoes. All right, Jordana Miller is going to be joining us at 6:50 from Jerusalem, pending an air siren where she has to run to the bunker. I can't believe I have to say that, but the latest war with Iran and the latest in the Middle East and the latest with the attacks for and against. We'll get into that with Jordana Miller. Karen Travers is going to be joining us. President Trump, again, back and forth. At one moment saying, I don't want anybody's help, and then demanding everyone help. So it's an interesting message coming out of the White House. And what's the latest with the Strait of Hormuz as everyone watches gas prices inflate? Karen Travers has got that at 7:20. Rich Frankel is going to be joining us. This advisor yesterday who resigned, who was, his official title was National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, was so very MAGA, was pro-January 6th, and a MAGA's MAGA came out and said there was no imminent threat. I resign. I cannot watch this happen. Now, of course, he's going through the gristmill. We'll check in with former special agent in charge of FBI, Rich Frankel, to give us a sense of what actually happened. Apparently, he had a meeting with J.D. Vance and his boss, Tulsi Gabbard, before he resigned. So we'll get into that with Rich Frankel. That seems to be making some big news. Stephen Portnoy going to be joining us as well. And then, of course, we'll get into it with Randy Carricker. The World Baseball Classic is officially over. I am so excited. 1 week from tomorrow is opening day. But Venezuela wins in a barn burner 3-2. It was a nail-biter to the bitter end.
It was 2-0 for a long time.
They were up 2-0, and then Kyle Schwarber hits a 2-run homer in the...
Bryce Harper.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper hits a 2-run homer in the 8th inning. Mm-hmm. And then they score a run in the 9th. They manufacture a run and a walk and a steal and a...
Oh, and they used every single one of their challenges, too.
It was close, but the umpires got all the calls right. And Venezuela scores in the top of the 9th, and they go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 9th. So Venezuela, possibly the 51st state in America, wins the World Baseball Classic. That's according to Trump. Trump wants Venezuela to be a state.
I know. I'm laughing.
Cuba and Greenland and, get behind. But apparently Venezuela is the leading.
And Puerto Rico gets pushed down the list.
Puerto Rico, I don't think wants to be a state.
They don't.
Yeah.
World domination.
Well, anyway, Venezuela, now your World Baseball Classic champion. And again, the best news is that The World Baseball Classic is now officially over.
1 week from today is, I believe, the Yankees open up the season.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Can we? Would you guys get any corned beef and cabbage last night anywhere?
My wife made amazing Irish stuff yesterday.
Okay, all right. Middleman. I mean, if that doesn't say Irish,
Correct.
Right?
nothing does. I went to Three Kings in Cottleville.
I like Three Kings.
Love Three Kings.
Oh my goodness, it was gorgeous. I'd been there before, but
So there's one in Cottle. God,
yeah,
they're,
it just opened up.
oh, okay.
One at
There's
the airport,
one
one
in
in South
Manchester.
County.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I don't know if the one in the Loop reopened or not after they had.
They
Oh,
did. They
right,
moved
right.
next door.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
They did such a great job on the renovation, and so we were there early, and we're having our corned beef and cabbage, and the table behind us there was some guy apparently was talking on his phone, but he was talking into the earpiece.
Oh.
So he looked like he was talking to himself. And
Crazy man.
Emerson leans in and she says, "I think that man's talking to himself for a long time." See that man drinking green beer? He's talking to himself. And so of course we look, and the guy's animated, flailing his hands, talking to himself on the table,
Angry.
and drinking a green beer. I was like, yeah, to a 5-year-old that would seem. I'm like, to a 59-year-old it looks weird. Daddy, why is that man talking to himself?
So, don't forget DePere. DePere has a
on
great
Manchester.
Three Kings.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, they did a great job. So I had my corned beef and cabbage, satisfied that itch for the day, and
Green beer.
Did not have any green beer. Again, I can't drink green beer. Is just not my.
I know.
Plus, I couldn't have. I was doing the night show, so I had my.
You're being responsible.
I had my caffeine-free, low octane
water.
club soda. Hey, while we're on this no caffeine kick that I'm doing, so I'm finding out that some people, my drink of choice when I go out, I'm lucky if they have Diet Sprite. But they don't call it Diet Sprite anymore. They call it Diet Starry.
That's the Pepsi version.
Oh, okay. All right. Is that new?
They changed from Starry. It was Slice for a while.
Or lime lemon or
It's Starry for
limon
like
or whatever?
Starry, like Starry.
Yeah,
Yes.
Starry.
that's
Yeah.
Pepsi's version of the white soda.
I noticed they sell ski in one of the Schnuckses. I thought that was a total. Are you familiar with ski?
Yeah. No,
Belleville.
they've been selling that for a while there.
Have they? Because
Yeah.
that's super. I mean, that's like
That's
That's a
cane
local.
sugar.
yeah, that's way caffeinated, right?
Yeah.
Too, like one of those surgy
Well, I
kind
guess
of.
I guess it depends on which one you get because they have all different flavors.
Oh, do they? Yeah, because I remember it's like an Illinois, it was a regional.
It's a
Illinois.
local thing, yeah, or whatever, yeah. But it's okay. So Starry is Pepsi.
Starry is the Pepsi version of Sprite.
Gotcha. Because
Starry?
yeah, Starry. I like Sprite's all right when you can't have caffeine, Sprite. But I don't want all the sugar, so I'm looking for the Starry Light. That makes any sense?
But you're having club or tonic?
I'm having club soda.
Yeah. How do you feel about sparkling, club sodas like that are flavored? Do you like those? Like, it's a store
Yeah, like
you can get for
a
like an
LaCroix or something.
something like that.
Yeah.
Or even like Schnucks will have those. I mean, and there's like, they say there's nothing in it, right? It's like basically flavored carbonated water. I'm
Hint.
like, how? Yeah. But
Well, Hint is
not even
just
Hint.
water.
It's just their version of it, right? But it's like, how can they get taste delicious like black cherry or something? But there's no calories, there's no whatever. But it's.
That's all chemicals then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, but I get my
Delicious.
club soda with lime, and that's got a.
Club is, I mean.
Though I do miss that little jolt of caffeine, that little boom.
Do you think that's psychosomatic though?
I'm sure I'll get over it. I mean, but luckily the headache stopped. 'Cause that week was not good. 6:15 here, Big 550 KTRS, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw area interstates are running at the speed limit with no accidents. And checking some drive times, it's 10 minutes from 270 and 55 down to Manchester, a 9-minute ride from 55 in Lindbergh to 44 near downtown. Also 9 minutes to go from 5570 in Collinsville to downtown St. Louis. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A slight chance to see some flurries or spots of light snow, but temperatures are rising with a warm front and getting above freezing, so we don't expect any impacts should we see any flakes, and they'll be gone by the morning drive with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s at daybreak, and then a high of 64 as that warm front really kicks into gear for Wednesday afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, too. Even warmer on Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 74. That's the latest in the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Head to any one of the 4 area Miller Furniture locations, and you will get a deal of a lifetime. They are getting ready to take a buying trip to Amish country, and they're going to visit Amish factories in Pennsylvania, in Ohio, Indiana, all along the way. And when I say a Amish factory, what I mean is a shop of 10 to 12 to 15 people who are just making the stuff right there in their barn off their main house. And what they do is they bring the orders, the custom orders in hand to these showrooms, if you will, and they hand deliver them, cutting out all the middlemen, which also means cutting out all the cost to you. So if you go to Miller Furniture and you order some Amish furniture, they'll show you which ones and options and all that type of stuff. They'll take that order to the Amish fairs, and they'll hand deliver it, they'll make it, and they'll get it sent right to your front doorstep. It's a great way to save some serious cash. It's also a great way to get some beautiful, gorgeous American-made furniture that will last a lifetime. Go see for yourself. Go see some of the styles and designs that you get with handmade Amish furniture, courtesy of Miller Furniture. Locations: Lake St. Louis out at the Meadows, Fairview Heights, Ellisville on Manchester Road, and, of course, their Belleville location on Main Street. Miller, Mueller, same as cash financing, homemade, handmade, Amish, Stickley's, Smith Brothers of Bern, they got it all there. Go see for yourself this special buying trip. They're going to go through Amish country. Miller Furniture or MillerFurniture.com.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels, with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
It's bracket season. Dogtown bracket, that is. And while the players take the court, the Dogtown pizzas hit the ovens.
Pepperoni versus sausage. Bacon versus veggie. And don't forget #1 overall seed.
Hot chicken. And with 13 different varieties, this will be the tastiest Final Four in league history. Celebrate tournament time with Dogtown Pizza and build your own bracket with 13 different varieties. Dogtown Pizza and DogtownPizza.com.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment. A moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen. A moment to find your dream, or build one. A moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Excuse me, 622 here at Big 550 KTR. So we talked about it last week. It's official this week. St. Louis County puts a 3.5% use tax on the ballot for August 4th. Now, what does that mean? On August 4th, St. Louis County voters are going to go to the polls and vote on whether or not they want to impose a 3.5% sales tax on all out-of-state purchases, including catalogs and internet purchases and everything else. Now, remember, we talked about this last week, and people are like, wait, I already pay for it. Well, depending on where you live, there are towns that already have a use tax on it. So your town you live in might have a use tax. St. Charles County has a use tax of like 1-point-something%. So when you buy something, the state has a use tax. Okay, so if you buy something the state puts the tax on, that tax goes to the state. Your town might have a use tax. Again, you're in whatever town, you buy something online, there's a tax on top of that. Now, St. Louis County wants to put a use tax on everything that is purchased in St. Louis County. You have to pay the state, and if you're in a town that has a use tax, sort of like a sales tax, right? Portion of the sales tax goes here, portion of sales tax goes there, portion of sales tax goes somewhere else. The use tax, when you're buying something from out of town or out of state, your city's got a use tax, maybe. Your state, if you're in Missouri, definitely has a use tax. And now the county wants to put a use tax on 3.5%. So anything you buy would have an extra 3.5% surcharge on it that would go straight to the county.
So
it was a vote 6-1. 6 county council members agreed. The one objection was our guest from earlier in the week, Dennis Hancock, who, oh, by the way, just happens to be running for St. Louis County Executive.
What?
So that is going to be something St. Louis County voters get to vote on August 4th. Yes, I yield for a question.
Who would vote for that? Like, what's the incentive? I mean, don't they usually wrap it up in some kind of incentive or something? Because this seems pretty much like.
Well, why don't they should say something like, we're going to put a 3.5% use tax and it's going to go to kicking all the people who are undocumented workers out of the universe. And then they would get a whole bunch of people to do it.
Well, right, because otherwise it just seems like, here, do you want to add more taxes or not? Yes or no? Like, that's
funny you mention that, because in 2021, 2022, they put this same similar tax on the ballot and it failed. St. Louis County voters rejected this. I'm kind of with you. Why would somebody vote to put an extra 3.5% tax on themselves for everything I'm already buying?
Or is it like it's for the county, right? So it's like I've been complaining about the roads being all torn up and blah, 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 and the trash and all that. So that would be like, hey, if we pay more in taxes in this use tax, the county will have more money, right? Is that the otherwise I don't understand why you would.
Well, I think somebody would vote for it if they say, I believe that the county is doing a good job with my tax dollars and we need more money to fund all the roads and the fire and the police and the general and the right. Well, we think these county workers need raises, and we look at all those potholes over there, and by golly, we need all this help. And so they do such a great job shepherding the current money I'm giving them. I have no problem giving them another 3.5%. I'm sure there are people like that out there who say that who would vote for this. So that's who would vote for this, I guess.
But that's also like in response to or in step of the possible doing away with the income tax, right? Is that why they're doing this?
So this is completely separate from the income tax.
Nothing to do with it. Okay.
That is correct.
That's the state.
That's the state. The state income tax. The state taxes you 4.7% on all of your income. They want to do away with that. So the goal there, as they work towards the end of the legislative session, that they were going to go at thinking this November that the voters would vote to do away with your personal income tax. And then they're going to after that passes, assuming it passes, then they're going to say, hey, we need to raise the state sales tax to make up for that income tax. And so let's put a 4, 5, 2, 1, 9% sales tax on everything. And so if that passes and the 3.5% use tax passes, your sales tax might be, I don't know, 13, 14%, 15%, who knows? It's getting expensive, man.
But then also the city keeps re-upping the 1% tax every time they put it on a vote. Somehow it passes. The 1% earning tax.
Well, because the 1% earnings tax, you're taxing people who aren't getting the benefits, right? So, like Rose works
in the county,
but lives in the city.
Yes.
Right? But let me see here. How would this work? If I worked in the county, I lived in the county and worked in the city, I got to pay 1% earnings tax.
Yes.
But I don't get any services from the city of St. Louis. So why would you turn down 1% from everyone who works in the city?
But if you live in the city.
You live in the city.
Which you're voting for, you're also getting that 1%. You're also paying that 1%.
But you're supposedly getting the benefits. You're paying 1%, but you're getting 3% worth of benefits. Right? Because they're like every time a pitcher from the Cincinnati Reds pitches at Busch Stadium, he gets charged 1% of his earnings tax.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't really care about how the garbage is picked up because he doesn't really live here. So you're making money on the deal. That's the
idea.
That's the mindset of many people in the city of St. Louis. So there you go. But this use tax, yeah, I'm with you, Rose. I think that's a tough sell.
Well, because
for voters,
right? Like like you said, if it was wrapped up in something, so
if we could somehow demonize one group of people in favor of a 3.5% earnings tax,
right.
That would be a better way of passing.
Not to be petty, but I feel like that you got to.
You have to demonize somebody.
Yeah, this is such like a wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why would I vote for? There's got to be something.
Right? Why would I want better roads? We need to demonize a group of people.
Right.
Shame them, and then maybe I'll vote for it. That's the way that's how you get anything passed around here.
It's going to go to the teachers. Done. It never goes to the teachers.
Right? If like 3.5% sales tax would go to police, say the Dewey Decimal System in local libraries, so no books get on there, a lot of people would go and vote for it. Or maybe if the 3.5% sales tax went to getting all the transgender people thrown in jail. See, now, there would be people who would be in favor of that.
Well, honestly, just
on top of
right.
going to roads and bridges and potholes.
But like I read in the story earlier, the amendment abortion is wrapped up in a transgender thing, right? Like,
right,
so
exactly.
That's
right.
That's it.
That's the way to pass a tax.
God, that's not like what?
That's the way to do it. That's fantastic. That's how you do it. I could be.
What
I could
don't
be,
you understand?
I could be a political consultant. It ain't that hard.
Just wrap it up in something nefarious.
Right, yes. 631 here, Big 550 KTRS. And if they're not nefarious, make them nefarious.
Right.
Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, there's a crash on 55 North before 44 downtown, but it's not causing a slowdown. The estimated clearance time is 7:10. The slowdown has begun on 55 North at Bayless, and we have a stalled vehicle on 170 South at Page. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS, St. Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, Captain Paul Kopsky. Right now, it is 36 degrees officially, and we're headed up to the mid-60s. Plenty of sunshine. Still be a little windy today, 10 to 15 miles per hour. But again, the warm-up begins. 66 the high today. Overnight tonight, the low of 47. And then tomorrow, hold on to your bonnet. 77 degrees. Not to mention Friday, which is going to be a party in downtown St. Louis with all the basketball going on. 83 degrees. Saturday, your off day, it's going to be 84 degrees and plenty of sunshine. And then Sunday, all right, it's a Friday-Sunday games down there at the Enterprise Center. Sunday is going to be gorgeous as well, 82 degrees on Sunday. 36 right now at 6:33. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Israel says it has killed another top Iranian official, which would be the third in 2 days. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said Iran's intelligence minister had been killed overnight. Fed Chair Jerome Powell is almost certain to announce today that the central bank has kept its key rate unchanged for the second straight meeting at about 3.6%. But the Fed will also release a set of quarterly projections, and they could alter their forecast of one rate cut this year to 0. In local headlines, Rosati Kane Academy raised $771,000 during its annual 24-hour Cougar Classic fundraiser, shattering previous records as the school enters its third year as an independent institution. School officials also announced that enrollment is up 45% over this time last year, and 80% of girls who were offered a spot have accepted and are coming to RKA next year. Crews are still working to complete repairs on a massive hole near Busch Stadium with opening day just over a week away. Officials said water and sewer infrastructure issues caused a portion of Spruce Street near the ballpark to collapse in early February. They hope to have it repaired by the end of the week. 37 degrees. Time now is 6:34. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Let's talk Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. Boardwalk Hardwood has their home show sale going on right now. Beautiful, gorgeous hardwood floors that we all fall in love with. Where do you get it without breaking the bank? You go to Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. They have manufacturing contracts or delivery contracts, wholesale contracts with all these manufacturers in North America. What they're able to do inside the factory is nothing short of amazing. They can put these harder finishes on, these more beautiful, gorgeous stains, and they're all able to do that in the factory. The different type of species and colors, unbelievable selection. Then they send them down to Boardwalk Hardwood Floors, any one of their 4 locations, and you get to pick. They cut out all the middlemen, and not only on top of that, now they got home show sale pricing. So at Boardwalk Hardwood Floors, they'll teach you how to put it in yourself, hands-on. They'll get an installer for you, which is a great way to go about doing it. And when it's all said and done, they're a great St. Louis partner, and they've been doing this for 25 years. They have a selection that is second to none, and their prices cannot be beat. So if you got hardwood floors in your future, yeah, Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. But now on top of that, they got home show sale pricing going on. So what are you waiting for? BoardwalkHardwood.com. 4 locations, BoardwalkHardwood.com.
Mizzou basketball on the Big 550 KTRS is powered by Graybar. Graybar. On the run, Mitchell. Your number 10 seed Missouri Tigers start the NCAA tournament against number 7 Miami this Friday night with a 9:10 tip-off.
Catch the extended pregame right here on the Big 550 starting at 6 p.m.
Catch all the action right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Presented by Graybar for all your electrical and datacom solutions.
Drives right baseline to the rim, jams it in the hands.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Get your reservations in now for Bishop's Post. Bishop's Post. They have the best version of your classic favorites. Located in Chesterfield, Bishop's Post is the perfect spot for that celebration.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, you're going to love this story. So on March 10th, there was a reporter for the Israel Times. His name is Emmanuel Fabin, and he happened to write on March 10th that there was a bomb blast just outside of a Jerusalem suburb harming no one. He put that on a blog post. A reporter for the Israel Times. Not that big of a deal, right? I mean, with all the things going on, it's a short blog post, and he reported that an Iranian missile had struck an open area outside of a Jerusalem suburb. No one was injured. About a week later, he started receiving death threats. And they questioned his family. They questioned him, demanding that he retract that blog post. So he thought about it for a moment, and he thought, maybe I should. Right? Instead, he called the authorities and let the authorities handle it. But what they found out was a gambler had bet that no bombs were going to fall on Israel on March 10th. And so, therefore, the gambler lost his bet and reached out to the reporter with death threats, demanding that he change or take down his post so that he could win the bet on Polymarket.
Well, of course.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I really don't know what to tell you. So the Washington Post moved this story last night, So
all the death threats from one person.
So, well, yeah, it was
right.
Well,
it was just the one.
He got. I believe he got more than one. It was either that or he got numerous ones over the course of a couple of days from the same person. But the fact that a reporter reporting facts is now getting death threats from gamblers who are gambling on the war is a Rubicon that is just the next level insanity that we've reached here in this world.
So now it's athletes and journalists who's
putting
their lives on the line
journalists
for
who are reporting facts,
their career.
And it was right, reporting a fact somehow is now getting death threats because, by golly, I lost my kid's college scholarship.
I was going to say, when you're addicted, nothing else matters but feeding that addiction.
Yeah.
So you're going to send a journalist death threats for ruining your odds.
Bonkers. Just absolutely insane. Remember, these are the people. Remember, somebody won $400,000 betting on the day Nicolas Maduro would be captured. Somebody else won hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just happens to guessing correctly the day we started to bomb Iran. Remember those stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So none of this is regular.
Well, Arizona is suing Kalshi right now. They filed suit yesterday.
Is that right?
Because they said one of the things Kalshi's not supposed to do because they're in the United States is betting on political outcomes. And Arizona says that Kalshi has violated that.
Oh, well, I thought that. Well, that's interesting because Kalshi's allowed to operate in the United States. Polymarkets has yet to get regulatory approval.
Right.
Not that matters.
They're
because
offshore.
Right. Because you can, 18-year-olds aren't supposed to gamble either, and that happens all the time anyway.
VPN.
Yeah.
Does this all fall under the gaming commission? Who would
So that's the
That's
fight.
what Arizona's
the
trying to
fight
say.
is saying it's not gambling, it's markets. So it should fall under a different regulatory. It's not gambling, it's investing.
Arizona sounds like McGraw saying that they are illegal gambling machines.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you can affect the outcome if you give a death threat to a reporter and you
have him
just
pull it down.
have him change the actual facts. Then you can actually. So it's not a game of chance. If you can bully the college point guard to shave points, then you're affecting the outcome, and therefore it is not gambling.
So just any of these platforms, anybody can just launch a startup like a Kalshi or a DraftKings.
You got to have the money to.
Well, right. And so but there's
Yeah.
no regulation that you have to follow. There's no permits. There's no, you know what I mean? It's just hey, I have this bunch of money. I'm going to start. I'm going to start a website where you can gamble on everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Go for it.
Yeah.
So
there you go. So now journalists getting death threats for reporting the facts.
All right.
6:45 here at Big 550 KTRS. I mean, they're not going to get to this till they open up the government and the Department of Homeland Security. So I don't have much faith in our elected officials. 6:45 here at Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. There's a multi-car crash on 55 North before 44 downtown with a stop-and-go backup past Arsenal. The estimated clearance time there is 7:10. 55 North is also stop-and-go at times at Bayless, and we have a stalled vehicle on 170 South at Page. This traffic report is brought to you by AAA Home Services. Call AAA Home Services, St. Louis's trusted home services repair team for 56 years for all your heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200, online at AAASTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm meteorologist Chance Gotch with your first alert forecast, tracking highs towards the mid 60s this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. Sunshine continues all the way through Saturday. Temperatures continue to rise, 74 into Thursday, Friday 78, and Saturday back towards the mid to lower 80s. Then a little bit of a cold front through Sunday, highs towards the lower 70s. By Monday of next week, 52 degrees. A few isolated chances of showers late next Tuesday and Thursday. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Scott for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk Stewart at Stewart's American Mortgage. Interest rates are all over the place, but is it a time to refinance? That depends on your individual situation. I would recommend calling Stewart. Have him run the numbers for you. If it makes sense, he'll do it. If it doesn't, he'll tell you to wait. That's if you're refinancing. Now, if you're buying, well, you're at the mercy of the markets and you're at the mercy of what's going on, right? Because you got to get your mortgage now. Call Stewart, because whatever the rate is, the rate is. Everybody has about the same rates. That's not what you should be fighting over. What you should be more concerned over are the fees. The fees are what kill you. If you're haggling over a quarter or an eighth of a percent, but you're paying $8,000 in fees, then guess what? It ain't doing you any good. Call Stewart. He'll run the numbers. Refinance now, call Stewart. If you're buying now, call Stewart, because everything under Stewart's umbrella, anything over $200,000, the bagel loan. That's right, the bagel loan. No fees. Look for that. Don't shop the rates. What good is a rate if it comes with $10,000 in fees? That's why Stewart is the biggest mortgage banker and mortgage broker in the region for years. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440 or stewartsamc.com.
Baseball is a story told across generations, through the players, the moments, and the gloves that shape the game. Now, that story comes to life in Rawlings, the Finest in the Field book, available now on Rawlings.com. Each of the featured 50 gloves is presented through the detailed photography and paired with essays that place the artifact within its historical context. And additional memorabilia further illuminate the era each glove represents. Reserve your copy today on Rawlings.com and be among the first to experience baseball's evolution as told through the story of these iconic gloves.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer who, planting time and harvest season, will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon and then Paynin from tractor back put in another 72 hours. His son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
This salute to all farmers is proudly brought to you by Farm Credit Illinois and the Big 550 KTRS.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
I'm Reed Millard, president of Lupton Millard Chapel of St. Louis. We've been faithfully serving St. Louis families for generations. At Lupton Millard Chapel, we understand it's the little things that make a big difference for the families we serve. A traditional church funeral or a unique celebration of life. Providing the finest in services and attention to detail has always been the hallmark of our family.
Lupton Millard Chapel, the leader in excellence since 1905. For more information, go to LuptonMillardChapel.com.
It's Jill Farmer. Medicare is overwhelming. Parts, plans, deadlines. It's a lot. That's why so many of you turn to Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. Ryan breaks Medicare down in plain English, helps you compare options, and make sure you're not overpaying or undercovered. No pressure, no confusion, just clear guidance from someone who actually cares. If you're turning 65, already on Medicare, or helping a parent navigate it all, start with someone you can trust. For the right plan, call a Medicare man. 314-368-6808, MedicareManSTL.com.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
6:50 here, Big 550 KTRS. The news this morning is that Israel seems to be going and effectively bombing some leaders in Iran and getting some results. We haven't talked to her in a while, in a couple of days. Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem. Tell us the latest.
That's right. In a kind of 1-2 punch, the Israelis yesterday took out the head of the National Defense Council, the de facto leader of Iran since the assassination of the supreme leader. They took out Ali Larijani. And then today, they're announcing they took out the head of the intelligence agency, right? The equivalent of, assassinating the head of the CIA. So two very, very, very big hits on Iran in the last 2 days. Will this be a pivotal moment, and how will it impact this war? I think that's still unclear. But in a time of war, Israel has shown that it can throw Iran's leadership off kilter, even if just temporarily, which can prove to be effective in a war like this. Right? There will be 2 people to replace Larijani and Ismail Khatib, the intelligence chief who was taken out overnight. Will they have the same experience and contacts and knowledge of Iran and its abilities and its military planning? That's unclear. And certainly this does hamper Iran's ability to mount, a very cohesive and effective reprisal or response to what's happening in Iran. It doesn't mean they can't still, strike back. Just last night, the Iranians hit Israel, and one of their missiles penetrated the defense system and hit central Israel, and 2 Israelis died, a elderly couple who just didn't seem to have enough time to get to their shelter.
There's no question that Israel and the United States is bombing at will, and there are virtually no defenses with some of these bombs. However, as powerful and as mighty as the United States and Israel are, they still haven't really done anything to loosen up the Strait of Hormuz.
Right. Well, I think that is the next key battleground, if you will. I think we're going to see in the next several days something around the Strait of Hormuz. It could be a land incursion with those Marines and sailors that President Trump is sending here to the region, 5,000. It could be taking one of the islands, Kharg Island, or another one there in the Strait of Hormuz. It's clear that the initial plan to get a kind of coalition together of allies to help safely escort vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is not going to work, right? The Europeans are not stepping up, and the Chinese, are not doing anything. The Iranians are letting some vessels through, their own vessels through, that are able to supply the Chinese still. So, it looks like it may have to be something, something a little more drastic to get the Strait of Hormuz back up and operating. It is driving up, as we've seen, oil and natural gas prices.
Yeah. Jordana, real quick, we're also hearing, I know there's limited information coming out of Iran because of the internet's down, but we are hearing that there are protests, or whatever protests there are, from the citizens of Iran. We're also hearing some terrible stories of some violence from the government squashing some of those protests.
First of all, I think it's really hard to get a handle on what's happening in Iran because of that internet blackout. But we did see some videos this morning and in the middle of the night of Iranians. I'm not sure they were really protests. They might have been celebrations in Tehran for the holiday of Nowruz, which is a festival of lights, if you will, on the Persian calendar. And, it could be that in those celebrations, the Revolutionary Guard arrested or tried to squash those celebrations. We did hear and see some video with gunfire again, it's unclear the scale of this. I think if there were tens of thousands of Iranians in the streets, we would know. So I don't think we've reached that tipping point, if you will, where Iranians are ready or feel it's safe to go out onto the streets. We're just not there yet. And that's why I think we should question some of the reporting that's coming out, for example, in the Washington Post recently, that, the Israelis are urging Iranians to go to the streets publicly, but privately saying they'll be slaughtered. We here in Israel are doing calls, and especially some deep background briefing calls with those at the highest levels here. And the call to Iranians to go into the streets is not being made yet, right? And you can hear it even from the Israeli leaders. They're saying, we're getting ready. The day is drawing near. We're trying to make it safe for you. But they have not said, go out into the streets and protest, nor have figures like Raz Pahlavi, right, the son of the Shah. The moment is not here yet, though it looks like the Israelis and the Americans are trying to make it a safer place for Iranians to do that. But it's going to take some time.
Jordana Miller, great insights. Be safe. Take care of that family. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks.
You got it. Jordana Miller, ABC News in Jerusalem, right there. Getting some great intel. 6:57 here, Big 550 KTR. Let's go to traffic and weather in a second. Let me tell you about outdoor living real quick. Outdoor living. You want a nice deck, pergola, sunroom, built-in grills, screened-in porches, gazebos, pergolas, fences, all of it at Outdoor Living. Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Been there a long time. Right there on South Holmes Road. Across the street from that side street is a Quick Trip. And then on the other side is Outdoor Living. Check out the showroom. They do a phenomenal job of giving you a chance to see all the different styles and designs and materials. They'll use metal framing. They'll wrap it in composite decking. And when it's done, they'll put a 50-year warranty on that deck. Imagine that. You build a deck today, and the warranty is good through what? 2076? Is that possible? That's a 50-year warranty. That's a pretty good deal at Outdoor Living. They will take care of you. 314-966-3325, right? 50 years from 2026 is 2076. The deck will have a warranty until 2076. Shudder that thought. Outdoor Living is where you go to get it done right. OutdoorLivingInc.com. OutdoorLivingInc.com. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Take it away.
McGraw crash on 55 North before 44 near downtown has just cleared, but traffic is still slow back past Arsenal. We have a crash on Highway A north of 70. That's causing congestion on 61 South, headed for the 6470 interchange out west. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, weather-wise here for the next couple of days. 36 degrees here, Big 550 KTRS. Still not any warmer than it's been the last couple of mornings, but the afternoon temperatures are going to increase and creep up to 66 degrees, mid-60s. We'll take it. And then overnight tonight, low of 46. Tomorrow, we've got temperatures in the 70s. Friday, basketball downtown is going to be in the 80s. Saturday, 80s. Sunday's 80s as well. So it'll be a good weekend. And let's give a shout-out to all those hardy souls in Dogtown yesterday who braved the cold. God love you. Way to get your Irish on, man. It was jam-packed. Dry. I drove by. God love you. That's the way to do it. Stay right there. Lots to get to. It is 7 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
Traffic reports when you need them. This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. In Tehran right now, the funeral service for Iran's security chief killed in an Israeli airstrike. Iran also saying today that its intelligence chief has also been killed by the Israelis. Javed Ali is a former National Security Council terrorism expert.
For the end state, whether it's a couple days or a couple weeks away or longer, can the U.S. live with the regime still intact, but with a different level of leaders, but a much weakened Iranian military that can't threaten its neighbors? That is one scenario for success, but is that going to result in that time frame? And is that what President Trump truly would like to see at the end of this?
The Strait of Hormuz still effectively blocked as well. The U.S. sending 5,000-pound bunker-busting bombs on Iranian missile sites that could be used to target ships. Here's ABC's James Longman.
Overnight, the International Atomic Energy Agency says Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plant was hit by a projectile. Iran says there's not been damage to the plant or any injuries, but the agency is calling for maximum restraint in order to prevent the risk of a nuclear accident.
And a day after her subordinate Joe Kent resigned, citing the war in Iran and its reasoning, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, will be on Capitol Hill.
Director Gabbard, as well as the directors of the FBI and CIA and other top intel officials, will be up here on Capitol Hill for the first of 2 days of annual worldwide threats hearings, and expect Gabbard to be grilled on Kent's resignation, but also her own longtime opposition to conflict in Iran, like a post from 2020 where she said simply, quote, "No war with Iran."
ABC's Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill. The WNBA and its players union have a verbal agreement on the terms of a new collective bargaining agreement. Specifics still need to be worked out over the next few weeks. The deal expected to greatly increase players' salaries with a good chance for million-dollar players. This is ABC News.
Hey St. Louis, it's Kathy from Connor Roofing, and spring storms are upon us. Is your home ready? At Connor Roofing, we specialize in roofing, siding, and gutters to protect your home from the elements. Don't wait for leaks or damage to strike. Our expert team will ensure that your home stays safe and secure all season long. Call Connor Roofing today at 314-375-7475 for an inspection, and you can enjoy the beauty of spring leak-free. Look us up at connorroofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
The Tigers are coming to St. Louis, and our special expanded game day coverage tips at 6 o'clock on Friday night. It's presented by Royal Banks of Missouri, Car Shield, and Allen Roofing on the Big 550 KTRS.
37 degrees at 7:03. Here's what's happening now. It will be a rematch for Darren Bailey and Governor J.B. Pritzker in the Illinois gubernatorial race. Bailey won the Republican Illinois governor nomination in yesterday's primary, reflected on his family's tragedy last year in his acceptance speech. The former Illinois House Speaker lost to Pritzker in the governor's race in 2022. Pritzker did not face any primary opposition as he seeks a third term. The three members of Congress representing the Metro East are one step closer to re-election after yesterday's Illinois primary. Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski won the Democratic primary for the 13th District with 75% of the vote and will face Republican nominee Jeff Wilson. In the 15th District, incumbent Republican Mary Miller fended off two challengers with 73% of the vote to advance to the general election against Democrat Jennifer Todd, who won a four-way race. It was an easy primary night in the 12th District with both Republican Representative Mike Bost and Democrat challenger Julie Fortier running unopposed. In other news, Missouri lawmakers are working to crack down on drivers who illegally pass stopped school buses. The Missouri House has approved a bill that would increase penalties for stop-arm violations involving school buses. The measure would raise first-time fines to at least $500, and drivers would face license suspension and points on their record. Under current state law, the fine for passing a stopped school bus is $130.50. The Missouri Department of Conservation is advising the public about a project beginning this week at Creve Coeur Lake that will affect visitors. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
The project is all about removing invasive carp from the lake.
This effort is in partnership with U.S. Geological Survey biologists from the Columbia Environmental Research Center and St. Louis Parks and Recreation. Nets used for the project will remain in the water until April 30th, and for safety, the public is asked to remain at least 50 feet away from all equipment, netting, and floating buoys during this time. The park will remain open through these removal efforts, but there will be temporary changes to boat ramps and lake access, and they say this will also affect foot traffic at the park until the end of April. The public boat ramps on the south and west sides of the lake will remain open. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
Last night's Franklin County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on 2 data centers went into the early morning hours. Hundreds of residents packed the meeting to voice their opposition of the projects. Residents spoke on concerns of environmental and health impacts. The potential site for one project known as Diamond Farm borders part of the Shaw Nature Reserve. The other site, known as Crooked Creek Farm, is near the Merrimack River. Both sites involve hundreds of acres. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. 37 degrees. Time now is 7:06. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
All right, Rose Dalton. Coming up this hour, Karen Travers at the White House. What is the White House doing about the Strait of Hormuz? And what's this rumblings of Marines, 5,000, are being sent to the region? Karen Travers has got that for us. Rich Frankel's going to be joining us about this special agent, this counterterrorism in the Department of Homeland Security who has resigned. Stephen Portnoy's got that story as well. And then Randy Carricker is going to talk. A week from today is opening day, believe it or not. And the World Baseball Classic was last night. Venezuela took home the trophy. They beat the United States 3-2. And so we'll get into that with Randy at 8:35. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, there's a new musical. It's the Tesla musical, and it's the story of dancing Tesla cars. No, it is not. No, it is not. It is the musical of Nikola Tesla, who was a contemporary of Alexander Graham Bell, or Edison? Was it Edison. Thomas Edison? And there were dueling AC/DC sort of arguments, and Tesla sort of lost out, and Thomas Edison lost to history. But an interesting story nonetheless. So we'll check in with Mark and John Rogers, who are here to talk about the Nikola Tesla musical, the world premiere. Mm-hmm.
They're from St. Louis.
They are from St. Louis. Speaking of that, I remember Zach, our buddy Zach Beining?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I talked to him the other day. He, once again, for the 8th year in a row, flew out to the Oscars and was a red carpet escort. Remember last year where Ariana Grande gave him the hairy eyeball? Remember that picture?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this year he did it. This year he did it again. He had to escort Heidi Klum up the red carpet. He passed on Michael B. Jordan.
Why?
He said standing next to Michael B. Jordan, he's so hot you get burned. Basically, he's such a star power that it deflates your ego like no one's. He's so big and so strong and so powerful and so magnetic that he's just
I could see his charisma just the Riz.
Yeah, I don't know if he got nervous or got scared, but he passed on Michael B. Jordan.
Another guy from The Wire.
But we were talking about his movie Piano Man. He's now been and he also did Ryan Coogler. He escorted Ryan Coogler and his wife,
Michael B. Jordan's director,
up the red carpet, which I told him, I hope you had the flash drive of your movie there to give them. He said, no, I didn't. I'm like, kills me. These kids today have a little gumption. But his movie that he produced and directed and made is now in a couple of film festivals.
Good start.
Yes. And so Mometu is a streaming service, Mometu, and I downloaded it yesterday. It's free. It's simple. You don't have to register. You don't need 7 passwords. You don't have to sign off on anything. Mometu, Mometu, and just search for Piano Man, and they're having a sort of online film festival, and you can watch his movie, The Piano Man. And I got to tell you, I hope he's not listening. There's no aliens. There's no weird car chases. There's no sick vampire who's going to kill somebody. It's just a really nice, short movie that is beautifully shot. The acting is fantastic, and it is a great short movie. It's really, really, really good. I watched it yesterday again. It's fantastic. And he should have, kills me that he didn't take a flash drive and just put it, just give it to Ryan Coogler. Say, here, if you get a second, take a look at this. Kills me. Then he's talking to Ryan Coogler's wife, and he kind of sort of, she said, how's it going? And he said, fine. And then he said, I'm trying to break into the movies. And she was like, that's nice. And moved on.
Here, give this to your husband.
Yeah, so he didn't, she was a little, I guess, she's having a moment. So she's not necessarily, thinking about the...
Right.
The red carpet escort who's trying to give her some. I don't know. I just wish he'd be a little more gumption would help.
And Ryan Coogler won Best Original Screenplay that night.
Yeah. So when I start my production company and I need a director, he's my Francis Ford Binding. My Francis Ford Zach Binding. It's a good movie. I would highly, 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. Mometu. So our good friend Zach are doing fine and well. All right, 712 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's do the Ron McDonald House. Let me tell you about the Ron McDonald House, because the mission of the Ron McDonald House could not be any easier. It is simply a place for parents to go who have children who are in the local hospitals. Oftentimes, the average stay is, 20 days, 25 days? These are serious procedures that these children are having, and while the one child is in the hospital for 20, 25 days, the family comes to town, and they have to keep the family going. There are other siblings, there are other children, there are jobs, there's all sorts of things they have to deal with. And so the Ron McDonald House is a place for them to go and be at home. The Ron McDonald House offers kitchenettes and snacks and coffees and showers and laundries and computer stations and living room where they can just sit down and collapse. Right, the stressfulness of the whole thing. It's a simple mission, but of course, it's very, very much needed. And they have homes here in St. Louis. They're on McDonald House. They have 92 rooms for families. The average stay, I said, is like 29 days. Last year, they served 546 families from 15 countries and 22 states. 76% of the families come from the area. And it's a great way to sort of show your humanity. And so if you would like to support their mission, it's very easy. rmhcstl.org. Also, don't forget, when you go to McDonald's, just round up. All that money goes right to the Ronald McDonald House. RMHC, Ronald McDonald House Charities, rmhcstl.org. Country Club Car Wash text line. A very good movie. I watched it twice. Yeah, Piano Man. It's really, really good. 714, 715. Let's check in with Captain Paul, St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, the roads are looking good after a crash on 55 North at 44 was cleared. 55 North is running without delays in South City. Drive time from 55 and Lindbergh to 44 near downtown is just 9 minutes. 270 North is moving at or near the speed limit from South County into Town and Country. It takes just 10 minutes to go from 270 and 55 to Manchester. From the KTRS St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A slight chance to see some flurries or spots of light snow, but temperatures are rising with a warm front and getting above freezing, so we don't expect any impacts should we see any flakes, and they'll be gone by the morning drive with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s at daybreak, and then a high of 64 as that warm front really kicks into gear for Wednesday afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, too. Even warmer on Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 74. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Only 2 seconds left. He shoots, he scores! Game over!
It's the end of the game for you and your car. To get the deal you want, you've only got one shot. That's why you go to HW Kia. HW Kia delivers the best Kia buying experience in the Lou. No pressure, no games, no nonsense. Right now, you can score a brand new HW Kia K4 for just $199 a month. That's a new K4 for under $200 a month on a 24-month lease. Has your credit been keeping you out of the game? Nobody works harder to help get you approved than HW Kia.
Hey, everybody, remember, Big D wants to see you in an HW Kia.
HW Kia, in the heart of West County on Manchester Road. Start now at hwkia.com. With approved credit, 2025 Kia K4, $34.95 due at signing, 10,000 miles per year, no security deposit, plus tax, title, license, and admin fee. Expires 3/31/26.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty every Sunday afternoon at 1. Powered by Homestead Financial Mortgage on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Truck drivers, your comfort matters. And at Schneider, we're here to make every mile better. Drivers at Schneider use newer, more reliable equipment that's spec'd with safety features and amenities that keep them comfortable any time of year. Plus, while you're out on the road, Schneider's nationwide facility network offers secure parking and the comfort of a home away from home to make your life easier. Upgrade to a better driving job with better equipment. Find jobs near you and apply at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Spring is in the air, my favorite time of the year. I'm buying and selling, of course, cars and motorcycles daily. I like to buy a few cars a day at this time of year, and I like to buy them directly from the owner. We carry only hand-selected vehicles, and I like to meet the people they come from. It's as much a people business as it is a car business. If you're in the St. Louis metro area, I'll even come to your house to purchase your vehicle, especially if you have more than one to sell or even an entire collection. We're always on the hunt for super clean, rare, and unique vehicles. I'll even buy everyday cars if they have low miles and are exceptionally clean. Hop on my site, mastercarsinc.com, and submit what you've got to sell. We buy, sell, and trade every single day.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Don't miss the Mizzou versus Illinois Bragging Rights baseball game on Tuesday, March 24th at 6 p.m. at Carshill Field in O'Fallon, Missouri.
General admission tickets are just $18. Group tickets as low as $10 with suite options, and 6 top tables also available.
It's the 34th meeting between the Mizzou Tigers and the Fighting Illini, with bragging rights on the line. March 24th at Carshill Field in O'Fallon, Missouri. Tickets on sale at OFallonHoots.com. Click the Special Events tab, then the 2026 Bragging Rights Game tab.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box. brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Kick off the season with a winning team. Choose Hackett Security to watch your home while you're watching the game. Hackett Security has a system to meet every budget. They are a locally owned national security company with on-site 24/7 UL listed monitoring. Visit HackettSecurity.com or call 314-432-4200. Who will be watching your home while you're watching the game? Hackett Security. They're looking out for you. 314-432-4200. HACKETT Security.com.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
$7:21 here, Big 550 KTRS. NATO is a defensive alliance, not an offensive alliance. Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. President Trump still very much angry at NATO for not coming to help out, apparently.
He is, but, NATO, I think, really means European countries here, because this isn't a mission for NATO. The NATO Secretary General made that very clear 2 weeks ago at the start of the war, saying, NATO is not going to get involved here. European leaders have also said that they don't see this as the responsibility of the NATO alliance. It is one thing to ask European countries to step in and help with this security operation in the Strait, but the president was criticizing NATO. NATO is a defensive alliance. Article 5 stipulates that an attack on one NATO member is an attack on all. And of course, the only time we saw that used was after the September 11th attacks. But we're seeing the president here arguing that there's an economic reason for these countries to help right now because of the oil they purchase from the region. But he's also saying that because the U.S. is engaged in this fight, that NATO should have its back. And NATO is saying essentially, no, this is your fight to have.
Yeah, it's a strange place we find ourselves in. We keep hearing rumors that there are 5,000 Marines headed to the area. Any more you can report on that?
No, the White House has not commented publicly. The president hasn't spoken about it, of what they would be doing and why. We've reported that it's happening, but it hasn't been officially, said by the Pentagon about what they would be doing there.
They have superiority, obviously, but again, they can't open up or can't loosen up the Strait of Hormuz. What is their next plan of attack for that?
For the United States, that's for the U.S., what they would do.
Yeah,
what they could do is start doing Navy escorts of the commercial oil tankers that go through. The president has said he might order the Navy to do that if needed. It's an option that he would be considering. They would then, provide security for a vessel or a convoy of vessels that move through this very highly dangerous, security, volatile area. This hasn't happened in a very long time. Our security reporters who are covering this very detailed. So the last time the Navy did escorts in the Strait was back in 1987 and 1988. They could do it, but this is what the president has been asking for other countries to help with this because it would be complex. And again, it's a high security risk.
You also find yourself, or one would find themselves, the United States would find themselves putting military assets and military personnel in harm's way to get oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz to go to South Korea and China, which seems like an odd way to deploy American resources.
Yes, but the global oil markets are all connected. So, while we are not getting our oil from there, the price of our oil is impacted by what is happening there. So there is an economic interest for us to also have that reopened.
Yeah, real quick, Karen Travers, there's also news and reports that Iran continues to get help from Russia. White House have any comments about that?
Not yet. Since that report yesterday, the Wall Street Journal had said that. I had asked the White House about this last week after the president spoke to Vladimir Putin about whether he pressured Putin on this point. The White House would not comment, just saying that the president had made his thoughts on that very clear, that if that were happening, it would not be okay. But Steve Witkoff, the president's special envoy, had said last week that in that phone call with Putin, the Russians had told him it wasn't happening, and he said, we'll take their word at it.
Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Thanks, Karen. Have a good day.
Thanks.
You got it. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to check in with Stephen Portnoy. He's got the story of Joe Kent, who official title was Director of National, what was his official title? Was National Counterterrorism Center Director. Joe Kent wrote in a resignation letter that he is leaving. He cannot stand by and watch this fight continue. He says that Iran was not in any danger of anywhere close to inflicting any type of danger. And this longtime military veteran, who I believe was deployed 11 times, whose wife was killed in the line of duty, has resigned as National Counterterrorism Center Director because he cannot stand by and watch this. The administration has very much pounced on him, trying to discredit his comments in all sorts of ways. We'll check in with Rich Frankel, former special assistant in charge of the FBI, and, of course, more with Stephen Portnoy at 7:50. You know, this NATO thing's interesting. When the United States went on an offensive attack on Vietnam, right? NATO didn't get involved. NATO wasn't called on. When we had the police action in Korea, NATO wasn't a part of it. When we went into Iraq the first time, we had a coalition, but it wasn't quote-unquote NATO. When we went into Afghanistan, we did have NATO. And the reason why we had NATO was because Article 5 says, right, an attack on one is attack on all. Afghanistan attacked us. And so NATO came to the defense of the United States. It's a defensive alliance, not an offensive alliance. So it's sort of interesting to see how the president sort of twists that. But that's sort of been the history of it going forward. 727 here, Big 550 KTRS. Stay right there. Lots more to get to. Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul.
McGraw, we have a crash on eastbound Highway A between 70 and 61 north of Wentzville. That's causing congestion on 61 south headed for the 6470 interchange. Otherwise, we are in good shape. 55 north is running without delays in South City. Drive time from 55 in Lindbergh to 44 near downtown is 9 minutes. 270 north is moving at or near the speed limit from South County into Town and Country. It takes just 10 minutes to go from 270 and 55 up to Manchester. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. The Rack House has made Whiskey Advocate magazine's top whiskey bars in the country list for the third time. Select menu items are double for the price of a single for Whiskey Wednesday each week, and today is Wednesday at the Rack House in Cottleville. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right. Weather-wise for the next couple of days. Today, we're going to be high of 66. The warm-up begins with some sun and some clouds, a little bit of wind, but again, not as bad as it's been the last couple of days. Low, so high today of 60s, mid-60s. Overnight tonight, 47. Tomorrow, 77. And then we're in the 80s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Early next week, we drop back down into the 50s, but that obviously could change. But we're looking at a pretty good weekend. It is currently 37 degrees at 7:30. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Mark-Wayne Mullen will appear before senators for a Department of Homeland Security confirmation hearing today as President Donald Trump's deportation push faces rising backlash. If confirmed, Mullen would replace Kristi Noem, whom Trump fired this month. Top Trump national security officials will face tough questions in Congress about the war in Iran and the FBI's ability to stop attacks at home. Today, intelligence chiefs will testify before a Senate committee, and they face a House panel on Thursday. In local headlines, the National Weather Service is confirming 8 tornadoes from the storms that moved across Illinois on Sunday. 7 were rated as an EF1 and 1 was rated as an EF0. The Missouri Department of Conservation is leading an effort to remove invasive carp from Creve Coeur Lake. For safety, the public is asked to remain at least 50 feet away from all equipment, netting, and floating buoys during operations. 37 degrees. Time now is 7:30. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, let's try Michael's Baths because the nanny tried, loved it. The neighbors tried it, loved it. Michael's Baths. The name says it all. His name is Michael, and he'll redo your bath. It's as simple as that. 0% financing options upon approval. Are you a veteran? He's got all sorts of veterans programs that he can help you with and gain access to. He's got all the awards and all the ratings you need. And he'll turn that tub into a shower, that shower into a tub. You need grab bars. You've been wanting to redo that bathroom for a while. You just haven't gotten around to it. Now you've got your tax return, and guess what? You know what? That might not be a bad deal after all these years. You wanted to do it the minute you moved into the house, but you blink your eyes, it's 10, 15 years later, and you still haven't redone it. Redo it. Michael's Baths will help you, and he'll do it 30 to 50% less than everybody else in town. 636-775-0800. Keep it local. Michael's Baths or michaelsbaths.com.
And now, John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Farmers and ranchers, when it's time to buy or sell ag equipment, think Purple Wave Auction. We're your go-to online marketplace for tractors, combines, sprayers, and more. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Experience the Purple Wave difference. Nationwide reach with a local touch. Purple Wave Auction. Whether you're expanding your operation or streamlining your fleet, we've got you covered. Visit purplewave.com today. Fuel your farm with Purple Wave Auction.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with a mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
Hi, I'm Joseph Shear, born and raised right here in St. Louis. Over the last 15 years, I've been working as a financial advisor with some of the largest companies on Wall Street. Now I'm back in my hometown, partnering with W. Swartz & Company and helping clients approaching or in retirement, growing families, and business owners reach their financial goals with minimum levels of risk. I would love the opportunity to partner with you on your investment strategy and financial plan, or maybe just provide a free, no-obligation second opinion. You can call me, Joseph Shear, directly at 314-518-4725. That's 314-518-4725. Or find me on my website at wswartz.com. That's WSWARTZ.com. I'm a proud long-term supporter and active volunteer of the Backstoppers. At W. Swartz & Company, we provide unbiased, highly customized guidance and service fiduciaries. We do not sell commission-based products. Call me, Joseph Shear, at 314-518-4725.
Live from Studio 550, this is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Made some pretty big news yesterday. The National Counterterrorism Center Director, Joe Kent, a name you might not have heard, but resigned and said there was no reason for this bombing. It has sent shockwaves through Washington and around the security apparatus. Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge of the FBI, joins us for a couple of minutes. Rich, what do you make of this news, and what do you make of his resignation letter?
So the news, it's definitely very surprising. I mean, I don't think anyone was ready for this. Will it change anything regarding, how the government operates or moves forward? Probably not. There are people in place to take over and do the job, and then the president will, of course, most likely appoint somebody, and then the Senate will hopefully confirm that in a relatively short time. But it shouldn't change the way we move forward, at least for the short time being. What was said in his letter is kind of shocking in the sense that I think it was unexpected that the head of NCTC would come out and say that there was no imminent threat facing us when we went into Iran. But then, there are some issues associated with what he said.
Yeah, he was very much in President Trump's inner circle. President Trump praised him for all sorts of things. He's been a decorated veteran. He had 11 tours of duty. He lost his wife to military service, so you can't question his patriotism. But what does the National Counterterrorism Center director do? And does this put us, sounds like he had his finger on the pulse at a time when domestic terrorism is a little bit heightened. So what do you make of this change?
Yeah, so he is, as the NCTC director, he is what they call the National Intelligence Manager for counterterrorism. In other words, he is either the highest or one of the highest advisors to the president on counterterrorism. And the NCTC is basically a clearinghouse for all counterterrorism threats, both domestically and globally. And what they'll do is they'll take that in almost like a clearinghouse and identify what the threats are. They'll provide analysis and policy on that. And then they'll also work with the other intelligence agencies on a strategy and tactics to go after terrorism, to basically counter terrorism. And so the NCTC director is definitely an important member of the DNI staff. In fact, he's probably one of the top 3 or 4 people over at the DNI, and also provides quite a bit of advice to the Director of National Intelligence herself. And then as far as his background, very impressive background as far as his military service, and then working with the CIA for part of his career. I do think that the death of his wife may cloud his judgment to a degree, and I don't mean that in a pejorative sense. It's just that something like that is going to definitely affect you. And he has said on other occasions that Israel provides too much direction and advice to the U.S. government on its wars and engagements over there, and that the U.S. should not be involved in those engagements. And I do think that goes back to when his wife was killed in the Syria engagement. He has said that was that whole engagement at that time was because of the Israeli provocation and Israeli pushing the U.S. government into that engagement on their behalf.
Yeah, Rich Franco, former special agent in charge of the FBI. FBI. What are the ethics of this? Obviously, this is what the man thinks. But in this role, in this position, are you supposed to sort of expose and to espouse what you think? I mean, should he have just resigned and kept himself and kept his comments to himself, or does he have a moral obligation to sort of tell what he thinks?
I think as long as you stay within the guidelines of, not putting out top secret information, keeping everything within the sensitive compartmentalized information where it should be, his resignation, I guess, is fine in that sense. It is kind of a parting shot at the presidency, but if this is his beliefs, it's his beliefs. I'm more of the opinion that while your beliefs should help mold you, you have to listen to the facts that are out there. And so far he's really the only one out there who's saying that this was not an imminent threat. Iran was not an imminent threat. And that we should not be involved in the war. Let's see how things progress on this issue. But again, right now, I think his personal beliefs may have gotten the best of him in the resignation letter, at least.
Yeah. Rich Franco, former special agent in charge of FBI. Thank you for your insight. Have a good day.
Thank you.
740 here, Big 550 KTRS. What does this all mean? How does it's landing politically? What is the administration saying about all of this? Stephen Portnoy is going to be joining us in 10 minutes to get the sort of news side of this as Donald Trump's top counterterrorism advisor resigns in a scathing resignation letter. Stephen Portnoy's got the latest at that at 7:41. It is, at 7:50 in 9 minutes. It's 7:41 right now. Back in a moment. Big 550 KTRS.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation?
Feed me Seymour.
Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11.
Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town.
Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Hardcastle, host of Money Talk. Join me and all of our Money Talkers for our June 2027 French Riviera Money Talk vacation. 9 days, unpack one time, balmy beaches, coastal resorts, chic boutiques, captivating museums, and much more. And if you book early, under $5,000 for brochure and information, call our Delta office, 636-532-0484. The French Riviera, I'm Bob Hardcastle.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty.
First day on the market, we had multiple offers. They're definitely on top of things, but we loved working with them. They made it so easy for us.
All you need to know about real estate and more.
I am Lauren Risley. I'm here with my right-hand man, Adam Bundren. Every Sunday at 1 o'clock, you'll be hearing from us a full 1-hour show on all things real estate.
Call the closer with Lauren Risley Realty every Sunday afternoon at 1. Powered by Homestead Financial Mortgage on the Big 550 KTRS.
Dalmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Dalmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
The smartest way to spend your money is not to. Straight Talk offers free 5G phones for new and existing customers on Verizon's 5G network. So the refund money I don't spend on that free phone is the refund money I get to keep for my family. Smart.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
You're selling your home, and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 442 Unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
The Big 550.
KTRS. St. Louis.
St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, the roads are generally looking good right now. 55 North is running a little slow at Bayless. Drive time from 55 in Lindbergh to 44 near downtown is 10 minutes. 270 North is moving at or near the speed limit from South County into Town and Country. It takes 10 minutes to go from 270 and 55 up to Manchester. This traffic report is brought to you by AAA Home Services. Call AAA Home Services, St. Louis's trusted home services repair team for 56 years for all your heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200, online at aaastl.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm meteorologist Shan Scotch with your first alert forecast, tracking highs towards the mid-60s this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. Sunshine continues all the way through Saturday. Temperatures continue to rise, 74 into Thursday, Friday, 78, and Saturday back towards the mid to lower 80s. Then a little bit of a cold front through Sunday, highs towards the lower 70s. By Monday of next week, 52 degrees. A few isolated chances of showers late next Tuesday and Thursday. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Shan Scotch for the Big 550 KTRS.
7:45 here at Big 550 KTRS. Let me tell you about Altair Travel and Cruises. You know, Sherry Norris was on the show yesterday, and she was telling us about this trip to Ireland. And dare I say, I was pretty interested in it. It was a Windstar cruise around the Emerald Isle, starting in Dublin, going up to Belfast and up around the top and down to Galway and the Ring of Dingle and the Ring of Kerry, and then to Cork and Waterford, and then landing in Rouen, France. That sounded like a pretty sweet little week's vacation on a Windstar yacht. Yeah, they do it once a year in August. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, or the point is this, maybe you're not interested in that, but that's the type of stuff they can do. And so they'll find a place that you are interested in with some type of specialty boat like that, or ship, dare I say, or yacht. That's the point. You and I, we're working, we're busy raising the family and the kids and the school and everything else, right? We don't have time to research all these travel things. That's what Altair Travel and Cruises does. They'll get you on a trip of a lifetime. They've done it numerous times with KTRS listeners, and it's always been such chock full of great memories. So for all of your travel needs, Heidi's taken a bunch of listeners to Iceland. Mike Ward's taken a bunch of listeners to the Danube. There's some rumblings about me taking another trip. Altair Travel and Cruises for all of your travel needs. 314-968-9600 or altairtravel.com.
Mizzou basketball on the Big 550 KTRS is powered by Graybar. Graybar. On the run, Mitchell. Your number 10 seed Missouri Tigers start the NCAA tournament against number 7 Miami this Friday night with a 9-10 tip-off.
Catch the extended pregame right here on the Big 550 starting at 6 p.m.
Catch all the action right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Presented by Graybar for all your electrical and datacom solutions.
Drives right baseline to the rim, jams it as he hangs.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. You know how spring works in St. Louis. One week you're running the furnace, the next week you're flipping on the air conditioner. It's weather whiplash, and your HVAC system feels it too. That's why spring is the perfect time to have the experts at Premier Heating and Cooling check things out. Their technicians go through 5 years of training well beyond industry standards. So when they perform a tune-up, they're making sure your system is running safely, efficiently, and ready for whatever the next St. Louis weather swing brings. If your furnace or air conditioner is older or starting to struggle, Premier can help with that too. They offer financing options that make replacing your system far more manageable, and a new unit can mean better comfort and lower energy bills all year long. So whether it's a quick tune-up or time for an upgrade, call the team that knows how to handle St. Louis weather. 636-916-1122, premierheatingcooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
I'm Reed Millard, president of Lupton Millard Chapel of St. Louis. We've been faithfully serving St. Louis families for generations. At Lupton Millard Chapel, we understand it's the little things that make a big difference for the families we serve. A traditional church funeral or a unique celebration of life. Providing the finest in services and attention to detail has always been the hallmark of our family.
Lupton Millard Chapel, the leader in excellence since 1905. For more information, go to LuptonMillardChapel.com.
Those who own small businesses are in for some big changes in the 2026 tax filing season. Editor-in-Chief of Investopedia, Caleb Silver.
Expanded employer-provided child care tax credits, those go up. Pass-through tax entity taxes, those go up as well. And the thresholds for reporting 1099 income also go up. Also, there's higher asset expensing and depreciation that you might be able to take advantage of.
Also new, a qualified production property deduction and a vehicle loan interest transition relief. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Are you ready for tax season? Don't let the tax changes passed in the Big Beautiful Bill Act catch you off guard. Hi, I'm Jeff Azufal, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, and my soon-to-be-released book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. Since 1976, Capital Advisory Group has been saving our clients money year after year. Give us a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talk and Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing.
Get your reservations in now for Bishop's Post. Bishop's Post. They have the best version of your classic favorites. Located in Chesterfield, Bishop's Post is the perfect spot for that celebration.
Get ready for a high-energy night as Tower of Power teams up with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Feel the funk and soul like never before with hits like What Is Hip, You're Still a Young Man, and the James Brown medley, reimagined with full orchestral power. One night, endless grooves, pure excitement. Don't miss Tower of Power on stage with your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Wednesday, April 15th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News correspondent. This resignation of the National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent set off a bit of a frenzy yesterday. Tell us what happened.
Certainly did, and it seems to continue to be setting up a frenzy. Look, you'll have the Homeland Security, you'll have the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, at a worldwide threats hearing on Capitol Hill next hour. And, of course, Tulsi Gabbard was closely aligned with Joe Kent, essentially his boss as DNI. And yesterday, Gabbard put on social media that it's the president's responsibility to determine what is and isn't an imminent threat. That's, of course, being read as a response to what Kent said in his letter to President Trump, his rather stinging resignation letter, saying that Trump has been deceived by an echo chamber of Israeli officials and, quote, influential members of the American media who convinced the president that Iran posed an imminent threat to the U.S. and that the path to swift victory would be clear. He compared it to the decision to go into Iraq more than 2 decades ago and said Trump can now reverse course or, quote, allow us to slip further toward decline and chaos. Well, the president says that, after reading all this, he says it's a good thing that Joe Kent is no longer the head of the Counterterrorism Center, saying that he always seemed like a nice guy, but always Trump thought him to be weak on security, which raises the question, why would you have a guy who's weak on security leading the National Center for Counterterrorism? But I guess that's a question that maybe one day someone else will ask. I think ultimately the overall picture here is you have Democrats saying that Joe Kent is right about the whole point he makes about Iran not being an imminent threat to the United States prior to the launch of the war, but they don't exactly want to associate themselves with what he said about the Israeli lobby and the cabal in the echo chamber and all that, which is obviously very, very weighted language.
Yeah. At one point, President Trump was saying nice, flowery things about this Kent character.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, as he has said about so many other people with whom he has filled his administration. Look, at the end of the day, the president made this decision, and Joe Kent is trying to make it publicly known that he's not on board. Are there others of similar thinking in the Trump administration still? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But Joe Kent has already made it clear that he intends to speak more publicly about all this. In fact, he's scheduled to be on Tucker Carlson's show later today.
Yeah, that's interesting, too. But, you know, in terms of this being a thing, when Joe Biden was in office, he had a number of officials in his department, State Department and others, who resigned over his dealings and his policies over Gaza. So this seems to be a thing that people not only resigning, but resigning and sort of walking out the door talking about how they cannot morally and or ethically support the administration they're working for.
That's true. I mean, and it's sort of seen as the principled thing to do. If you disagree, well, then you should leave. I don't remember, though, during Biden's presidency, someone of this kind of stature and profile. There were lower-level people in the State Department who expressed their reservations with respect to the policy toward Gaza, but they were not exactly bold-faced names, and I don't remember anyone who was Senate-confirmed doing it, but certainly this was and is a Senate-confirmed post. Last year, it was a controversial choice of Joe Kent for this role. All the Democrats voted against him, and so did Republican Tom Tillis of North Carolina.
Interesting. President Trump would vote against him now, I guess. Stephen Portnoy, have yourself a good day. We know not to question you. We learned that late last week. Have a good day.
Everybody needs an editor, man.
There you go. Thanks. Stephen Portnoy here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk about Tucker Carlson for just a second, because we were talking about this off the air. And there's this sort of narrative, and I hate that word, but the narrative that's taking place, that somehow MAGA is split. And so Tucker Carlson and the Megyn Kellys of the world and the Alex Joneses of the world are sort of turning on President Trump, and his base is split. That's a bunch of hooey, okay? Just one guy's opinion. Here's what I think's going on. Take it for what it's worth. I have no insight into anything. But Trump's base is still very much lockstep with President Trump. And whatever President Trump says, they're all about. So you ask yourself, why is Tucker Carlson breaking ranks? Why is Megyn Kelly breaking ranks? Why is Alex Jones breaking ranks? Why is Steve Bannon breaking ranks? For what it's worth, here's one guy's opinion. What do all those people have in common? They're on the internet. They're podcasting.
They're not in the administration anymore.
They're not in the administration, but two, they're not in mainstream cable, right? The Brian Kilmeades of the world, the Mark Levins of the world, the Glenn Becks of the world, the Sean Hannitys of the world. They're all on cable and or mainstream talk radio. And so they're very much in Donald Trump's world. The Tucker Carlsons of the world, he's trying to get attention for his podcast. Megyn Kelly's trying to get attention for the podcast. All these guys are sort of internet podcasters. And don't tell me that Megyn Kelly's got the biggest podcast in the history of mankind. All those numbers are so skewed and so false and so manipulated that none of that's true, right? The real power of the conservative voice is on Fox and talk radio and all that. So by Megyn Kelly trying to pick a fight with Mark Levin, she's trying to garner attention for her podcast. In my humble opinion, that's what she's doing. So it's a survival game for her, and she sees the niche as picking a fight with one of the big ones, Mark Levin, and so that's why she's sort of doing what she's doing. Just one guy's opinion. 7:58 here, Big 550 KTRS, St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
McGraw, no big problems on the roads right now. 55 North is running just a little slow at Bayless. Drive time from 55 and Lindbergh to 44 near downtown. It's 10 minutes. 270 North is moving at or near the speed limit from South County to Manchester, where it does get crowded up to 64. And 64 West is running at less than 40 miles per hour coming in from Illinois to the Poplar Street Bridge. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, weather-wise for the next couple of days, what do we got going on here? We got, 60s today, mid-60s today, a little bit of wind, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, low of 47, and then the warm-up really begins. Tomorrow, high of 77. We got a high of 82 tomorrow. Saturday, 84. Sunday, 82. Remember, we've got a whole bunch of basketball games Friday and Sunday. It's going to be a bumping downtown all weekend long, and the weather is going to be great. Venezuela beat the United States last night in the World Baseball Classic. You know what that means? That means great news. The World Baseball Classic is over. We don't have to pay attention to that anymore. We can now get on to the real news, which is opening day 1 week from tomorrow. Randy Carricker is going to talk all of it coming up here in a half hour. 8 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
If you're thinking about it, we're talking about it. This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump now attempting to reopen the Strait of Hormuz by ordering the dropping of 5,000-pound bunker buster bombs along Iran's coast as one-time allies refuse to get involved in the war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. ABC's James Longman is in northern Iraq.
The strait, which is a critical trade route for the world's energy supply, has been closed for 18 days, causing turmoil for global markets, sending the price of oil skyrocketing. President Trump lashed out at NATO members who were not consulted before the conflict began for not helping to reopen the strait. They insist it's not NATO's war.
After saying it killed 2 top regime leaders on Tuesday, including Iran's top security official, today Israel says it has also killed the country's intelligence minister. Javed Ali is an ABC News contributor and former National Security Council counterterrorism official. He was asked whether that will lead to the collapse of the regime in Iran.
Alone won't make it collapse, but I don't think that Iran can continue to lose leaders at this level for weeks on end. Their bench is growing shorter by the day.
Director of National Intelligence for this country, Tulsi Gabbard, will be before a Senate committee today, along with the directors of the FBI and CIA. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien at the Capitol.
We know Democrats on the Senate Intelligence Committee are likely to have pressing questions on the bombing of that girls' school in Minab, Iran, and if the U.S. was culpable and what, if any, role U.S. intelligence played. I'm also told senators will have questions on the possibility for Iranian reprisals on the U.S., including possible cyber attacks. Expect FBI Director Kash Patel to be questioned on that.
Another topic, the resignation of National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent, who said he could not support the war since there was no imminent threat to the U.S. Confirmation hearings also began on Capitol Hill for DHS Secretary nominee Mark Wayne Mullen, who would take over for Kristi Noem. You're listening to ABC News.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Shh, here it comes. Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours. It's so loud.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor. It's plaster from your ceiling.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
37 degrees at 8:03. Here's what's happening now. Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton is the winner of the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate in Illinois. Stratton beat out U.S. Representatives Raja Krishnamurthy and Robin Kelly and a crowded field of candidates. Stratton is vying to replace longtime Senator Dick Durbin, who is set to retire. She will face Don Tracy, the winner of the GOP primary. Darren Bailey is set for a rematch with Governor J.B. Pritzker. Bailey won the Republican Illinois governor nomination in yesterday's primary. The former Illinois House member lost to Pritzker in the governor's race in 2022. Pritzker did not face any primary opposition as he seeks a third term. In other news, an investigation is underway after a woman died at the St. Louis County Jail. Police say the 39-year-old inmate, who has been identified as Robin Julia Smith of Hazelwood, was found unresponsive in her cell on Monday morning. Foul play is not suspected, according to police. Her cause of death is pending autopsy results. Police have released the name of the pilot who was killed in a plane crash at Spirit of St. Louis Airport. The victim has been identified as 65-year-old Edward Rubeck of Spanish Lake. He was piloting a small aircraft when it crashed early yesterday morning at the east end of the airport. The FAA is investigating the cause of the crash. More Missourians seem to support overturning the 2024 voter-approved abortion amendment. That's according to newly released results from a SLU YouGov poll. The poll surveyed 900 likely Missouri voters seeking their opinions on a variety of topics, including abortion, data centers, sales taxes, and other state government matters. The abortion issue is tied to a proposal prohibiting gender-affirming care for minors under Amendment 3 for the November 3rd general election. The poll results show 47% of likely voters approve of the amendment, with 40% in opposition and 12% unsure. The matter splits across party lines, with Republicans supporting the measure 70% to 18% and Democrats at 21% to 67%. Rosati Kane Academy raised $771,000 during its annual 24-hour Cougar Classic fundraiser, shattering previous records as the school enters its third year as an independent institution.
The Cougar Classic.
KK, Cougar Classic fundraiser.
BCC, wasn't it?
School officials also announced that enrollment is up 45% over this time last year.
That's great news.
And 80% of girls who were offered a spot have accepted and are coming to RKA next year. Rosati Kane Academy President Stephanie Boyd said their fundraising success is reflective of the overall momentum the school is seeing, thanks to its unique educational approach. And the city of Ferguson will hold a town hall today to discuss a proposed $1.8 million redevelopment of the former Emerson campus. SSL Investments is under contract to buy the 217-acre campus for $18 million. Ferguson could help finance the renovation costs by issuing bonds. The renovations would be among the largest commercial developments in Ferguson's history. The town hall will be held at 5 this afternoon at Ferguson City Hall. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists and the place for all your floral needs, and you can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 37 degrees. Time now is 8:06. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
So let's talk about the Illinois primary for just a second. First of all, I'm glad it's over with so we can stop watching those Juliana Stratton commercials. Holy mackerel, those things getting annoying.
They paid off.
So she wins rounding 36% of the vote. Raja wins only 30% of the vote, and Robin Kelly wins 15% of the vote. So she wins because most votes win. But if they had ranked choice voting, I'm not so sure she would have won.
Well, wasn't Robin Kelly the spoiler candidate?
Yeah, so she right. So was I don't know the whole inner workings and everything else, but just
Mark talked about it last week that they put her in to siphon votes.
Right, and so it's disingenuous to do that, right? Right. So
it's Illinois politics, though.
Right. So if you had ranked choice voting, and if you went into the polls, you said, I really like this Raj guy, and so he's my number one. And, this Juliana Stratton, she's all right. If I have to, I'd rather have her number two. But this Robin Kelly, I really don't want. Or Juliana Stratton, I love. This Robin Kelly, I like more. Let me do her one, and this one two, and that one three. And then they added up the votes that way. You get a much more representative vote than just pick one and then manipulate the results. And so, like they have in the city, and I know a lot of people don't like the voting in the city where you can vote for as many candidates as you want. And it sounds crazy. It sounds insane. And when I first heard this a couple years ago, I was like, this is the nuttiest thing in the world. But it actually makes some sense when you look at this Illinois Democratic senator's race where this Juliana Stratton wins with 35% of the vote. That means that 36% of the people voted for her, and 46% of the people voted for the other two candidates. So more people voted against her than voted for her, and yet she's the winner.
Whoa.
Right. Yeah. Think of it that way.
It's a plurality.
They never did think of it that way.
Yes.
She doesn't have a majority of the vote.
Right. Raj got 30% of the vote. Robin Kelly got 15% of the vote. That's 45% of the vote who voted against the woman who won.
Did they think of it that way? Like they right? I mean,
no,
just being
it's a straight line. Who gets the most votes?
Right. So,
but in a like in Texas recently, right, where they had the John Cornyn and the other guy, the Ken Daly. So now they have a runoff because there was 3, and the top 2 then run off. Okay, so if they had it here, the top 2 vote getters would then run off in another primary.
Where you would take the spoiler candidate
where
out
you
of the
take
equation.
the Robin Kelly out, and where would that 15% go? Well, let's ask the voters and see where they go. So if you're looking for pure democracy, where you really truly let the people decide, and not the machines, and not the parties, and not the left or the right or the whatever else, right? If you want a true representative government, when you have 3 or 4 or 5 person elections and the top vote getter wins, the top vote getter could get 20%. That means 80% of the people voted for somebody else. So you're not getting the representative the community most wants.
Would you say that's usually how a lot of these elections are? That's usually how they work?
They're slowly starting to change the way they do it. Like in the city where you can vote for anybody you want, and then they take the top 2, and then you go again.
Some would say that's how Tish got voted out, because more people put Kara first.
Right, yeah. Well, but she came in second, and so they had a runoff and whatever else, right? But the city, remember when the city would have 3 or 4 or 5, remember when, was it Lyda Cruisen won, and they would put another black person up to split the black vote. And then I know that's crass and dirty, and you're not supposed to say that in polite company, but that was the
That's what happened.
That was the down and dirty sort of political sort of mudslinging that was going on. So you split the black vote, and then the white vote wins. Well, you now kind of do away with all that, right? You just have a ranked choice voting. But this Illinois Democratic primary is a prime example of how Juliana Stratton, who I have not paid any attention to this race, so I don't know which one's the more liberal or the conservative. I know she's a Democrat, but 35% voted for her, and more people voted against her than voted for her. But if they had another runoff, would this Raj carry the day at the end?
She was Pritzker's preferred candidate.
I learned that through the commercials. That I did learn. He likes to walk and talk to people about Juliana Stratton, apparently. That's all I learned about Juliana Stratton. I didn't know anything else about her except he likes to take a nice walk in a Illinois gym sweatsuit and talk about Juliana Stratton to strangers who come up to him and say hi.
That's all you need to know.
That's why I voted for her 3 times.
Right.
That might have happened.
But I mean, this is a classic example of a ranked choice voting would have solved this problem. Whereas now they should have a runoff, or they should have done it all at once. Where if you like Raj, vote for Raj. If you like Robin, vote for her. But vote for 1, 2, 3, or vote for as many as you want. Would get a better representation of the voters than just she wins 35% of the vote. Now here's the other thing. Especially in a state like Illinois, where the Democratic primary is basically the general election, right? She's going to be the odds-on.
Don't tell that to Southern Illinois.
I understand that, but she's going to be. The truth is, she's probably going to be the odds-on favorite to win this, and a Republican is going to have a really hard time winning. So, if this is going to be the representative of the state of Illinois, she only got 35% of the vote. And then when it's only between her and the Republican, then she's going to probably carry the day. But I would have loved to have seen some type of ranked choice voting in Illinois. That's all I'm saying.
Voter turnout?
What's that?
Did they have good voter turnout?
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that number
do people
yet.
show up for the primaries there?
Yeah. Well, again, I understand people complain about that. But if you don't show up, you don't get to complain. And so if 10 people show up, we should take the best representative sample of the people who do show up. So if you don't show up, get over yourself.
Don't complain.
Yeah. 8:15 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul, St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. 55 North is running without delays from South County and into South City. Drive time from 55 in Lindbergh to 44 near downtown is 10 minutes. 270 North is moving at the speed limit from South County to Manchester, where it gets crowded approaching 64. 6455 West is running at less than 44 miles an hour coming into the Poplar Street Bridge. And Illinois Route 3 North is congested from Monsanto Avenue to 6455. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A slight chance to see some flurries or spots of light snow, but temperatures are rising with a warm front and getting above freezing, so we don't expect any impacts should we see any flakes, and they'll be gone by the morning drive with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s at daybreak, and then a high of 64 as that warm front really kicks into gear for Wednesday afternoon. Mostly sunny skies, too. Even warmer on Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 74. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
I've been asked to say a word about Allen Roofing. That's not fair. I can't say it in a word. If they just did roofs, I probably could. I would say roofs. But they can do siding. They could replace it. They could put leaf guards on. They could reattach it like they had to do for me, where my gutter kind of came away from the house. Siding issues, they carry James Hardy, the very best. They can fix that too. Basically, if it's something you could see from the outside of your home or your office, they can fix it, improve it, or replace it. Look, it's probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. Protect it. Absolutely. And nobody does it better than Allen Roofing. Check out all the reviews online. Everybody else seems to know. I shouldn't have to tell you these things. For all of your roofing needs and so much more, Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA-certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
So, I have a thing for Shark Tank.
Do you like it when they have the extra person there?
I don't mind it. I love everything about Shark Tank.
I like it when they have all 5 of them there.
Yeah. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. I just like that you like Shark Tank. Who's this extra person?
They always have an A-Rod or somebody they had the woman who invented Spanx on, and they've done.
Oh, and they're ready
Jeff
to
Foxworthy
They're
was
ready
on?
to invest, right? They have
The only one I didn't like was the skinny cocktail lady. I don't like
Bethany
her.
Frankel.
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't know what she did to be famous, other than
She's a Real Housewife.
yes,
That's
exactly.
why.
This,
But
yes.
you know what? I will.
Okay, first. You want to become a millionaire? First, get $1 million, okay, and then you'll be a millionaire.
Marry
right?
somebody that has $1 million.
So I don't really think she really. I mean, she, whatever.
The skinny girl line though is, amongst women, it was all over the place. It was kind of I think she kind
That's
of
like
started
Trump
the
steaks.
skinny.
He just slaps his name on steaks and calls it Trump steaks or Trump water or Trump ties. It's it's just a marketing plan. Anyway, so I love Shark Tank. Love it.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, I have all sorts of favorites. I've purchased numerous ones from.
Oh, I was talking about an investor.
Wait, you purchased the products that was?
Oh yeah,
Scrub Mommy started on Shark Tank.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah, I've purchased them. I've purchased ones that haven't gotten deals. I've gotten ones that have purchased deals. No,
And how do you do it if they don't have deals? You just go. Do they put like a link?
Go to the website or something. They.
As seen on Shark Tank.
It's probably the most valuable piece of property on television today because even if they don't get a deal, it's great advertising.
Yes.
And you talk to the businesses, and every time it replays on CNBC or something, they see a spike in the sales.
Like these window things we have, these things that go up and down, those were on Shark Tank but did not get picked, but
Shades?
they still made, the
Going up and down shades was on Shark Tank?
The retractable ones with the motor.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
So these are products that are already established that have already been sold. They're just looking for some extra backing to go net, right?
Sometimes it's somebody who has an idea. Sometimes it's an ongoing business and they have sales. Sometimes it's people
They
who
need cash.
It's you don't know who's coming into the tank.
Really?
So I saw one the other day that I just am obsessing over. Have you seen the Guitar Buddy?
Ooh.
So this is a couple years ago. I saw it on a repeat. It's called the Guitar Buddy, and what it is it is sort of like turns your guitar into Guitar Hero.
Oh, makes it.
You put the bar on the arm of the guitar, and you have like red, blue, yellow, and green.
For all the notes.
And if you hit red, that's the A chord. B is, blue is the B chord. C is the yellow chord, whatever. And so you hit these buttons on your guitar, and you can, in no time, just strum and play like Stairway to Heaven.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
No, I didn't buy it. But I did a little research on it, and apparently it was years ago, and the guy has sold millions of them. He makes them by himself out of his garage in Florida, and his daughter wanted to learn how to play the piano or play the guitar, and she was having a hard time, and he was like, let me see if and he made it for his daughter.
So was this was this like a Guitar Hero inspiration kind of thing? Like when that whole thing came out, it gave,
No,
it was
the
like
inspiration was
totally
his daughter.
different-
He's into music, and his daughter wanted to learn to play the guitar, and she was having a hard time. And so he's like, "Let me see if I can make something for you." And so every time you press the blue button on this thing, it holds whatever
It depresses that
whatever
string.
chord is to do it.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've purchased. Scrub Buddy was on there. Ring Camera didn't get a deal.
Ring Camera was a Shark
Ring
Tank?
Camera was a Shark Tank, and they rejected it outright. And then that Jamie Siminoff came back to be a shark at some point.
Well,
Because they rejected it.
What does the Ring, like the Ring Camera is, honestly, it's just a set of
It's a video camera.
right? But like
For the
what sets
doorbell.
it, what's different from any other, like,
It was the first. It was the first.
Really?
Yeah.
That has an app with your phone, that kind of like.
It was the
right?
first. Yeah, it was the
Like
first.
ADT and all those things didn't already have cameras?
No.
But that was a security system.
That was a security system.
Oh,
this was a
these are
doorbell.
just. Oh, okay.
It was a camera on your doorbell.
Yeah.
So Cord Buddy, you can buy it at Amazon for $42.
Worth every penny. It also comes with like a songbook and stuff.
Yeah, and it teaches you how to 2 books how to play guitar within 2 months, and also it is 4.2 stars. So people like it.
And what kind of songs can you learn from the songbook?
Let's see here.
Is it only good for guitars, or can you use it for bass as well?
No, this is just for
guitar?
well, I guess anything that has a fret.
Yeah, anything that's got a deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But it's a Shark Tank proven. See, they use it says it in the advertising.
So
it
no,
is
that's
a
a
Shark
standard.
Tank proven product.
Yeah.
You have to make sure it's right or left-handed too, because it's
Yes.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the Jimi Hendrix version, please. Well, so it's like as seen on TV, right? I was thinking,
Kind
like,
of,
have you ever
yeah.
bought?
Yeah.
I used to wish to outfit my kitchen with
I
all
love
things
there used to
as
be a
seen on
store
TV.
called As Seen on TV.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that
Walgreens
stuff.
always has a little
Cap.
section. Yeah,
Yeah.
Walgreens end cap always has. And
No,
some
Shark
of those,
Tank is. I mean, I find myself screaming at the TV, like, take the deal. Stop trying to fret
I want
over
more money.
Yeah,
Well, do you think like things like the clapper would have made it on Shark Tank? Remember that? Like the
I'm sure they would have at
because
some point.
Well, because I don't think it ever really worked. Like, did you know anybody that ever, was like, this thing is the greatest invention ever?
It's
where,
funny
like,
because
and the
I
lights go off.
I
don't
put
think
the
it,
clapper on, and I was watching a ball game, and every time there was a home run, my lights kept going on and off. Good night, everybody.
So they say it doesn't give specific songs, but it says it's going to teach you country, pop, gospel, and bluegrass.
Perfect.
And it says in 2 months, and then you get 2 books and you get access to their website.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
I have purchased now. Some of them have gone south. I mean, a lot of deals, they've gotten deals and they've fizzled out. Some deals have gone on and made millions.
What else have you bought?
Oh boy, let me see what else have I purchased.
Or as seen
There
on
was
TV?
it was like an 8-year-old that made a spoon for infants, and I bought that for Emerson.
Was Dr. Brown on there with the baby bottles?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't remember that one. I've bought some. I can't remember how many things I've purchased, but I've purchased quite a bit from Shark Tank. And I go right there. I go right on my phone, and I love it.
I mean, it's like QVC. Like,
It
are
is.
you not
It
allowed
is.
to watch? You're like, put that phone down.
According to Investopedia, who we have Caleb Silver on
Yeah.
all the time, the top 8 things from Shark Tank. Squatty Potty came from Shark Tank.
I have not purchased.
I have one.
I was waiting for you to be like, that worked great. Love it.
Dude wipes, which are
Do not have dude wipes. I don't know what that is. That sounds weird, but no.
the Comfy, which is a Snuggie.
Yeah, no.
Cousin's Maine Lobster food trucks.
That's a big one, but not allergic to shellfish.
The Boakes Company, which is a floral, eco-friendly farm.
Okay.
Scrub Daddy, which
Yeah,
we
right.
both have.
Yeah.
Everlywell, which, those are at-home lab tests.
Okay.
And Bombas.
Bombas.
Oh, the socks.
Bombas, the socks. Yeah.
Whoa,
the
that's
most
a
successful Shark Tank
But
product
they
ever.
were already ongoing, and then I think Mark Cuban got Bombas.
Damon got that.
Okay, yeah.
Real quick, remember the balls that will come in the back of socks, those ankle socks? Like just like
Yeah.
isn't that to keep the socks from scrunching down to your shoe, or were those just for like
I don't know.
I know it's random, but I just always thought they were like, because it would be like if I made these socks with a ball. Don't you hate when the socks slunch under your shoe and you're like walking? Well, here's this fuzzy ball in the end of your ankles and they won't fall.
Mark Cuban's no longer on Shark Tank, but he
Right.
said recently that he's negative. He's lost money on Shark Tank.
That short-haired chick seems to be the one that.
Yeah, but she's very.
She's on all.
Barbara.
Yeah,
Barbara.
she is. She's very, very conservative. She says no way more. She doesn't have the money that some of the other guys have because she's much more frugal.
The most successful shark is
the bald guy.
No, it's Raymond.
Mr. Wonderful.
No, it's Raymond John, owner of starter of FUBU, the African American guy.
Oh yeah, Damon.
Damon.
Yeah.
And the 2 most successful things that were rejected, Ring, as you already said, and Coffee Meets Bagel.
Oh,
which is
a dating app.
Mm.
Gosh, Shark Tank.
I know the guy on the end who married his Dancing with the Stars partner,
Robert.
He made a ton of money on ugly Christmas sweaters. Somebody brought in and he bought it and made a fortune on ugly Christmas sweaters. I love.
Can they
Shark
all
Tank.
invest in one, or does one person get the whole investment?
So we'll end on this. So there was you asked me my favorite one of all time. I defy anybody not to be bawling your eyes out. There was one where these 4 kids come out. I'm going to start crying thinking about it. And they tell that they're selling a cutting board, okay? And this newfangled cutting board with a little bit of I guess it would be a pocket or a little bit of a drop down sort of reservoir for when you chop up the carrots and you have the nubs or whatever, right? You can just slide that off into this reservoir and then keep cutting. And it was invented by their father. And their father was a firefighter in New York who died of a 9/11 cancer. And so this was his dream that he started, they said 10 years ago, and he died before he could get on Shark Tank. And so you're sitting there and you're crying with these 4, one's 19, one's 16, one's 13, and one's 8. So the 4 of them are up there telling this story. And you're like, oh my God, these 4 kids their father's dying wish was to be on Shark Tank with this invention that was this firefighter for 9/11. And so one of them says, well, what about your mom? And the one says, well, that's why it took him so long to get on Shark Tank. He invented this 10 years ago, but then our mom got breast cancer and she died. And he had to stop this to go raise us. And then he got on. And so they tell this story and they turn to the 4, and the 4 of them are they're in their knees. They can't get up. So they're like, wait, stop the cameras. And they all come together, and 2 minutes later, they're like, we're all in, done. And for 6 years, the cutting board was sold out. You could not get the cutting board. Go and watch it. There's nobody. You do not you're not breathing if you aren't on the floor crying your eyes out over this Shark Tank episode. It was, I mean, oh my God, right in the gut. 8:32 here, Big 550 KTRS, and yes, I purchased the cutting board. Then I actually saw the family on some home improvement show. Somebody did redo their kitchen, and it was the same kids who are now a little older. But anyway, yeah. 8:32 here, Big 550 KTRS, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
McGraw, the easy morning commute continues. No slowdowns on the usual trouble spots like 55 north in the construction area and 270 north from South County into Town and Country. 64 west is running at about 40 miles per hour coming in from Illinois to the Poplar Street Bridge. And also in Illinois, 64 west is congested from US 50 in O'Fallon to a mile shy of 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your season tickets now for the 2026 Stages St. Louis. The 2026 season is kicked off with the always hilarious 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
39 degrees here, Big 550 KTRS, all the way up to 60s, mid-60s today. And then the warm-up begins, 77 tomorrow, 80s by the weekend. It is 38 officially. Let's go to the newsroom. Once again, here's Rose Dalton.
Qatar is blaming Israel for an attack on an offshore natural gas field it shares with Iran. The Iranian side of the field, the South Pars field, came under attack today and was burning. Attorney General Pam Bondi has been subpoenaed to answer questions from Congress about the Justice Department's sex trafficking investigation of Jeffrey Epstein and the agency's handling of millions of files related to the disgraced financier. Bondi was ordered Tuesday to appear for a deposition on April 14th by the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform after a vote earlier this month that was supported by 5 Republicans. In local headlines, the former head of a nonprofit in the St. Louis area will spend over a decade in prison for what officials said was the largest public assistance fraud in the history of Missouri. Federal prosecutors say Connie Bobo filed fraudulent documents to obtain almost $20 million in funding while serving as executive director of the New Heights Community Resource Center, which distributed meals to children after school and during the summer. And Ameren, Missouri is urging customers to apply for more than $1.5 million in energy assistance through its Dollar More program. Applications will be accepted through May 31st. 38 degrees. Time now is 8:35. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, we should give this the text of the day. You ready for this one? They will receive a free Country Club Car Wash from one of the 5 area locations. From the 636, now it's broken up into 5, and they're all disjointed. So let me see if I can piece this back together again. I had been fired. No. I had been out of the country on vacation. When I returned, I had been fired. I somehow had gotten on the other station on the radio and thought, what has happened? I was afraid you all got fired. I found them quite boring. You were missed. Luckily, I have found you again. Keep up the good work. Love the show. So they will receive the Country Club Car Wash. They were let go from their job. The least we can do is give them a free car wash. So there you go. From the 3 and 4, does the cutting board work? Yes, the cutting board works. It works, but you have to keep it close to the edge. But it's fine. I mean, it works. I use it all the time. Ron Popeil is still the king of TB products. That's the hair on the can guy. I like the guy who makes the boat out of the rubber in a can. I like that guy.
Oh, the one guy who died, though, the Billy Mays or something, right? Mm-hmm. The ShamWow.
The ShamWow guy's different. But the Billy Mays guy was with the Andrew Sullivan guy.
Yeah, I'm in a boat that's being held together with...
No, that's not Billy Mays. That's somebody else. Billy Mays...
Billy Banks?
No, Billy Banks, I think, is a...
That's Tybo
or Tyq or...
But I mean, that guy took over Billy. They took over Billy Blanks.
Andrew Sullivan is the British guy.
Oh, right.
Does that? I think.
I think that ShamWow guy got arrested.
Yeah, the ShamWow guy had
a criminal or something.
But he was fascinating.
Shady, I know.
I love those. I love those carnival barkers. They are the best. They can, man. Those guys can sell ice to an Eskimo.
I was gonna,
I am such a sucker.
What's that like? Like, did they go to school for that, like spokesmodel school or something? Like, how do you become such a?
Come here, Sonny. Let me show you these knives, and you're like, oh, I need it, all of them. And I've got a juicer, and you bring the juicer home, it doesn't work. I'm like, that guy did it right in front of me. How does it not? Those carnival barkers. Don't get me near them. I just hand over my wallet. I have a closet full of stuff that I've never used, but by golly.
All that snake oil in your closet.
It's so entertaining. They're so good. And they hit the mark. Oh, they see me coming. I got a big S on my forehead.
Nice
Sucker.
Cut through a shoe. Give me that.
I need 2 of them.
Right.
8:38 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Wait, didn't I? Hold on.
Did we do this already?
I already did that. You're confusing me.
Right.
Gosh.
Oh, you were supposed to do a live commercial.
You pointed to her.
I know,
so.
and I'm like, oh, what's happening?
OxyClean was Billy Mays.
That's right. Thank you.
What is the proper name for the guitar device? I think it was called Guitar Buddy.
Chord Buddy.
Chord Buddy. QVC and HSN are both declining big time after merging, now face bankruptcy. I took them off you can take them off your system.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't even, like YouTube, you can pick and choose what channels you want, so they don't even show up.
Did you take it off because you're You have a problem?
No, I took it off because they were clutter. I just took it off. It was actually kind of nice. All right, Morelli, tuck pointing. Morelli was not on Shark Tank. They don't need to be. Morelli already has enough business, and they keep it here in St. Louis. They've won every award there is to win. Countless satisfied customers, including yours truly. Morelli tuck pointing. When you're searching for a tuck pointer and you ask a couple people, hey, what do you know? What do you hear? What do you hear of Morelli? You will invariably get back, oh, gold standard. Oh, the best. Yes. 3 generations of Morelli tuck pointings that I know about. Honest, professional, courteous. Absolutely the best when it comes to tuck pointing in town. Not only in terms of sales or service, I should say, but price. So, residential, commercial, any type of tuck pointing, any type of walkways or chimneys or porches or anything brick or stone that needs repair, Morelli. You'll get the same price as some of those fly-by-nighters, but you'll get the expertise to go with it. They can't make it any easier. Give them a call. Send them a couple of pictures. They'll come out to the house. They'll give you a bid. You can pay online. It is so simple. John Morelli's got it going on. Morelli, 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I'm inviting you to join me October 23rd as we journey in search of Iceland's magical northern lights with Colette. We'll experience the land of fire and ice with a rare opportunity to search for the northern lights every single night with a tour guide. Our journey includes a day in the charming city of Reykjavik, checking out the steamy lava fields, massive glacier-sculpted mountains and valleys. We'll get unique views of beautiful waterfalls and walk along the black volcanic sand beach. And let's not forget, a relaxing dip in the Blue Lagoon. Colette handles all the deets, from flights and meals and hotels, even the local experiences. Your only job is to have the time of your life with me. You have until March 25th to sign up, so don't miss out. Join me. Call our friends at Altair Travel, 314-968-9600, or go to ktrs.com to learn more.
Mark Lawson here, owner of Black Fox Cooper. We're an Anderson certified contractor. That means every window we install meets Anderson's exacting standards for quality, performance, and durability, and our installation is guaranteed for 2 years, in addition to the 20-year warranty on the glass. In many cases, we can upgrade your existing Anderson windows with new energy-efficient glass at a cost far less than replacing the whole window. Financing is available. Call 314-270-1484 for a free consultation and estimate, or online at blackfoxcooper.com.
Explore how you can manage your money day or night with convenient digital banking tools from Royal Banks of Missouri. No matter where you are, you can cross banking off your to-do list with a variety of features available at your fingertips. Monitor your accounts, deposit checks, schedule bill payments, plus more, anytime, anywhere. Visit RoyalBanksofMo.com or download the Royal Banks of Missouri mobile app to get started. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Have some fun with your friends while eating great food. Of course, I'm talking about the Village Bar, the only place to watch the big game while eating the world's best cheeseburger. There's a reason people have made this their favorite hangout for decades. The game's on, and so is the grill. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's check in with old Randy Carricker, KTRS sports guru. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, McGraw. There used to be a grilled cheese restaurant that got started on Shark Tank. It was called Tom and the Chi, and they're still around, I guess, in Ohio. But we had one out in O'Fallon, Missouri, and they were pretty good. All the restaurant made was grilled cheese sandwiches, but they were pretty good. And some of those investors invested in Tom and the Chi.
Yeah, you know what? I would have gone there. I like a good grilled cheese sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and I can tell you their menu now, which basically consists of grilled cheese sandwiches and soups, but they have like a chicken bacon ranch grilled cheese, a bacon mac and cheese, a west of Philly with extra cheese, all kinds of different grilled cheese sandwiches. They were pretty good.
Is it this? But it's not open anymore.
No, the one in O'Fallon, Missouri is not. However, they still have an array of restaurants in Ohio.
All right. Well, so I have to go to Ohio. Next time I go to Ohio, I'll look for a grilled cheese fast food restaurant. All right,
There
good.
you go.
Randy, what do you think of that Venezuela game and the win last night over the U.S.?
I think it's great to see, especially a country that's been through what Venezuela has been through. They have something to rally around. And I've said for a long time that the only real galvanizing thing in our world is sports. And that country, for all of the things that have brought them down over the course of the last few years, they've got something to lift them up today. So congratulations to all those players. I'm a huge Wilson Contreras fan. I love the way that he goes about his business, so I'm happy for him. And they pitched, and I didn't think that they would be able to pitch, but that USA offense never was able to take off in this tournament. So good for Venezuela.
Yeah. Mark DeRosa, the manager of the American team, is he going to get any long-term damage from this coaching and some of the comments he made about not being in the medal round?
Yeah, I don't think so. He said on MLB Network that they had their ticket punched, and nobody on his coaching staff told him either that no, we don't really have our ticket punched. And then they needed some help from Italy to get to the championship round. But I would think that he'll be able to continue his career at MLB Network. He's really, really good. I believe that he wants to be a manager in the majors. But at this stage, McGraw, and it's amazing to say, he's in his 50s, and he might be too old to be a first-time manager at this stage. So I think that he'll have a continued great TV career, but I would guess that he probably will not become a major league manager. But it won't have anything to do with the fact that he had that gaffe. It'll have more to do with his age and his level of experience.
Okay, so you need more info on this. 50 is now too old to be a major league manager, whereas years ago, I think you weren't even considered a manager until you were 50-something years old. What happened?
Well, it's a young man's game, and Ali Marmol was the youngest manager when he got hired. The Washington Nationals just hired a 33-year-old manager. And because the game is not about baseball experience anymore, because the game is about math and being Ivy League educated and understanding the numbers and the permutations and the analytics, it's really not about people and the history you have in handling people. Teams are going with younger and less expensive managers because now you're looking for a manager pretty much that will do what the front office says analytically. You aren't looking for a guy like Tony La Russa or Whitey Herzog or Joe Torre that has that experience to manage people. Now you're looking more for somebody that, what does this particular hitter do against a pitcher that has a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the eighth inning with a spin rate of 2,100? That's exactly – you're looking for math rather than actual managing of people.
So you're telling me that the movie Little Big League was before its time, and someday we're going to have a 12-year-old manager.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's where we are headed. And another movie, go back to Moneyball and how Billy Beane and Paul DePodesta, they told Art Howe how to manage, what players to manage, who to use, who to play, and that's where we are now in baseball.
Yeah, all right. Hey, what do we hear from the Battlehawks?
Well, their quarterback, Brandon Silvers, seems to be a good guy. You know, Ricky Prohl, the new head coach of the Battlehawks, he wants to run an offense exactly like Mike Martz ran here in St. Louis. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to throw the ball downfield. Obviously, they aren't going to have the talent that the greatest show on turf had, but at least from the standpoint of being aggressive, having an approach, I think it's going to be pretty fun. I think it'll be fun to watch. I don't know how successful they'll be, but I think we'll have a good time of going to and watching their games.
When does that season start?
28th, so 2 weeks.
Okay.
Or no, it'll be a week from Saturday, I think.
Oh, okay. All right, so that coincides with opening day, I guess, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's a real mistake on the part of the UFL. And they have a new ownership. Mike Repole is the guy's name. But they should start this season the weekend after the Super Bowl. And this should be, when opening day starts, they should be in something like week 7 because and granted, they would have had to compete this year with the Olympics, but most years they don't have football to deal with. They're dealing with a lot of all-star breaks and the dog days of the NBA and NHL seasons. I don't understand why the UFL doesn't start earlier and keep us going with football and start the week after the Super Bowl.
It's actually a brilliant point, because since the Super Bowl has been a bit of a lull, and now that the Super Bowl sort of pushed into the first or second weekend in February, that February, March is sort of a dull time. So, yeah, no, it makes a lot more sense to do it your way. But they don't listen to us, Randy, that is for sure.
Well, maybe they should.
Maybe they should listen to us. Randy Carricker, who's your sponsor?
It's our friends at Classic Air Care. And speaking of the baseball season being here, Classic Air Care is ready for opening day. And they're offering 2 tickets to a Cardinals game for anyone who gets a free estimate this month. And if you want to, you can get to a Cardinal game, and all you have to do is get in touch with Classic Air Care at Classic Air Care, and that's AIRE, classicaircare.com. It's near the medium term, and if you want a price where you are going to get the best deal, go to Classic Air Care. And they have more than just air care, by the way. They have electrical services, wiring, panel inspections to generator installs, and more. If the recent storms have you worried about your power, think about a generator. They have $1,500 off generators right now at Classic Air Care at classicaircare.com.
St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul.
McGraw, there's an accident on 270 West at Riverview with traffic jammed back to near Illinois Route 3. And there's an issue with the signals at 109 South and Clayton Road near Lafayette High School. This traffic report is brought to you by AAA Home Services. Call AAA Home Services, St. Louis's trusted home services repair team for 56 years. For all your heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200, online at AAASTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm meteorologist Shane Scotch with your first alert forecast, tracking highs towards the mid-60s this afternoon, mostly sunny skies. Sunshine continues all the way through Saturday. Temperatures continue to rise, 74 into Thursday, Friday, 78, and Saturday back towards the mid to lower 80s. Then a little bit of a cold front through Sunday, highs towards the lower 70s. By Monday of next week, 52 degrees. Few isolated chances of showers late next Tuesday and Thursday. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Scotch for the Big 550 KTRS.
Walter Knoll Florist, 1-800-341-ROSE, named after Rose Dalton, 1-800-341-ROSE. Mother's Day is right around the corner. We've got Easter right around the corner. We've got opening day right around the corner. Everybody needs flowers for opening day. Kids are going on spring break. You've got birthdays. You've got anniversaries. You've got bar mitzvahs and confirmations and baptisms. And, yeah, you're going to need some flowers, and that's where Walter Knoll comes in, because Walter Knoll's been doing it right for all these years. Better flowers, better pricing. It's tulip season, but you can get tulips anytime you want, courtesy of Walter Knoll Florist, even in the dead of winter. But it's springtime. The tulips and the daffodils are going strong. You got the Easter lilies right around the corner. All of it. Walter Knoll will take care of anything and everything. So, for all of your floral needs, 1-800-341-ROSE, 1-800-341-ROSE, WKF.com. Walk into any one of their locations. All they ask, after all these years they've been in business here in St. Louis, all they ask is that you give them a chance to earn your business. That's all they ask. Give them a chance. 1-800-341-ROSE, WKF.com. I think you will be surprised at how great the level of service, the customer service, the flowers, and everything else. Keep it in the family. Walter Knoll Florist.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar, United Healthcare, will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at KTRS.com or on the KTRS app. Powered by JBL Financial. Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Hey, Heidi Glaus here, asking you to join us weekly as we present the KTRS Book Club, presented by the St. Louis County Library for readers of every generation. Books transport us anywhere our imagination wants to go. They are absolutely magical. The KTRS Book Club will introduce you to local and national authors, events, and special programs presented by the St. Louis County Library every week from 3 to 6 right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor with Capital Advisory Group. Now, more than ever, having a tax strategy to protect and grow your wealth is an absolute must. Every Saturday, Josh Gilbert and I will discuss how you can keep what's yours, because the most important part of your wealth plan is your tax plan. That's Keep What's Yours this Saturday afternoon.
Capital Advisory Group presents Keep What's Yours with Jeff Zufall and Josh Gilbert this Saturday afternoon at 3 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
This movie.
How New York is this movie?
It's how Queens is this movie? All right. Lisi Lumber, ladies and gentlemen, family owned and operated since 1872. Lisi Lumber. Here is the deal. At Lisi Lumber, you send them your measurements for the size of your pergola, and they will build a pergola to your specifications, and they'll send it to your house, and you can assemble it right there. All the pieces. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. They can't make it any easier, can't make it any more simple. Pergolas, pavilions, trellises, pre-assembled hardscapes, union-made, union-delivered. Lisi Lumber's been doing this just like Walter Knoll since the 1800s, 1872. 2 hardware stores, 1 great family, knowledgeable staff, skilled union laborers, union Teamster drivers. If you need anything in terms of trusses and all those types of things. But they got this thing going on right now for the spring, pre-assembled pergolas as well as pavilions and trellises. Love me a good pergola and love me a great trellis. We'll do that with Lisi Lumber. 2 locations. Give them a call. Lisi Lumber, 636-234-0105. Get your measurements and head them over to Lisi Lumber, and they will deliver a pergola, pavilion, or trellis for you. Easy to install. LisiLumber.com. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Once again, here's Captain Paul.
McGraw, there's an accident on 270 West at Riverview with traffic jammed back to near Illinois Route 3. And there's an issue with the signals at 109 South and Clayton Road near Lafayette High School in Wildwood. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers with great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Diana from Newsteaders Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
Traffic reports when you need them. This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Streaming live at ktrs.com.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The United States and Israel continuing to exert pressure on Iran, but the Strait of Hormuz is still effectively shut down, even as 5,000-pound bombs are dropped along Iran's coasts overnight. Israel also continuing to fire at targets in its north as well.
In Lebanon, Israel's campaign against Hezbollah intensifying, where more than 900 people have now been killed. The IDF demolished an entire building in central Beirut. Air emergency personnel searching the rubble for survivors. Israel gave the alert to evacuate an hour earlier, but that came at 4 in the morning.
ABC's James Longman in northern Iraq. On Capitol Hill, coming up this hour, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, as well as the heads of the CIA and the FBI on threats to the country because of the war. On Capitol Hill right now, Markwayne Mullin. He is the nominee that President Trump has selected to take over for Kristi Noem in the Department of Homeland Security. Senator Rand Paul is chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee and told Mullin he recalled his reaction when Paul had been attacked by a neighbor.
You told the media that I was a freaking snake and that you completely understood why I had been assaulted. I was shocked that you would justify and celebrate this violent assault. That caused me so much pain and my family so much pain. I just wonder if someone who applauds violence against their political opponents is the right person to lead an agency that has struggled to accept limits to the proper use of force.
Wholesale prices, inflation before it hits consumers, up between this year and last, says ABC's Jim Ryan.
On an unadjusted basis, the index rose 3.4% in the 12 months ended in February, the largest 12-month advance since February of last year. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says the cost of services as opposed to goods is driving the increase.
And the Dow is down 181 points this hour, S&P down 16. This is ABC News.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Ask any designer, and they'll tell you lighting is key. It's Heidi, and you can completely transform your home with Nora Lighting, which is available at my go-to store, Metro Lighting. From recessed to under cabinet lighting, Nora helps brighten every corner beautifully. Visit Metro Lighting St. Louis area showrooms to explore all the Nora Lighting solutions, or check them out online at metrolightingcenters.com.
Get your reservations in now for Bishop's Post. Bishop's Post. They have the best version of your classic favorites. Located in Chesterfield, Bishop's Post is the perfect spot for that celebration.
40 degrees at 9:03. It will be a rematch for Darren Bailey and Governor J.B. Pritzker in the Illinois gubernatorial race. Bailey won the Republican Illinois governor nomination in yesterday's primary, reflecting on his family's tragedy last year in his acceptance speech. The former Illinois House member lost to Pritzker in the governor's race in 2022. Pritzker did not face any primary opposition as he seeks a third term. The three members of Congress representing the Metro East are one step closer to re-election after yesterday's Illinois primary. Congresswoman Nikki Baczynski won the Democratic primary for the 13th district with 75% of the vote and will face Republican nominee Jeff Wilson. In the 15th district, incumbent Republican Mary Miller fended off two challengers with 73% of the vote to advance to the general election against Democrat Jennifer Todd, who won a four-way race. It was an easy primary night in the 12th district with both Republican Representative Mike Bost and Democratic challenger Julie Fortier running unopposed. In other news, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway is scheduled to make an announcement later this morning regarding illegal slot machines in businesses across the state. The issue centers on video lottery terminals, which operate similarly to casino slot machines, but are located in gas stations and other local businesses. A federal judge recently ruled against Missouri-based Torch Electronics, finding that the company's machines involved an element of chance and qualify as illegal gambling devices under state law. Hanaway will make her announcement at 10:30 this morning. And the Missouri Department of Conservation is advising the public about a project beginning this week at Creve Coeur Lake that will affect visitors. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
The project is all about removing invasive carp from the lake. This effort is in partnership with U.S. Geological Survey biologists from the Columbia Environmental Research Center and St. Louis Parks and Recreation. Nets used for the project will remain in the water until April 30th, and for safety, the public is asked to remain at least 50 feet away from all equipment, netting, and floating buoys during this time. The park will remain open through these removal efforts, but there will be temporary changes to boat ramps and lake access, and they say this will also affect foot traffic at the park until the end of April. The public boat ramps on the south and west sides of the lake will remain open. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
Last night's Franklin County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on two data centers went into the early morning hours. Hundreds of residents packed the meeting to voice their opposition of the projects. Residents spoke on concerns of environmental and health impacts. The potential site for one of the projects, known as Diamond Farm, borders part of the Shaw Nature Reserve. The other site, known as Crooked Creek Farm, is near the Merrimack River. Both sites involve hundreds of acres. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 right here on the Big 550. The Dow is down 218 points to 46,800. The S&P is down 22 points to 7,000. And the NASDAQ is down 59 points to 22,500. In KTRS Sports, the Blues are on the road tonight to take on the Flames. The note is a perfect 2-0 so far against Calgary this season. And the Big 550 KTRS is your radio home for Illinois basketball in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Check out expanded pregame coverage beginning at 7 p.m. tomorrow night with the Illini and Penn Quakers tipping off at 8:25 on the Big 550. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic, let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads, where we find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
And Rose, an accident on 270 West at Riverview has been cleared. And there's an issue with the signals at 109 South and Clayton Road. That's near Lafayette High School in Wildwood. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. The Rack House has made Whiskey Advocate magazine's top whiskey bars in the country list for the third time. Select menu items are double for the price of a single for Whiskey Wednesday each week. And today is Wednesday at the Rack House in Cottleville. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, sunny today with a high of 64. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 47. And tomorrow, sunny with a high of 71. Currently 40 degrees at 9:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Swings, and it's a high fly ball. That's hit deep. It's a gunner! It's a gunner! And a game winner!
Start the season in style. On Saturday, March 28th, the Cardinals welcome the Tampa Bay Rays for a spring showdown downtown. That day, you can score a lightweight Cardinals pullover, a navy blue look built for early season nights, and easy everyday wear. Comfortable, classic, and ready for cool evenings at the ballpark. It's a layer you'll reach for all season long. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
I've been asked to say a word about Allen Roofing. That's not fair. I can't say it in a word. If they just did roofs, I probably could. I would say roofs. But they can do siding. They could replace it. They could put leaf guards on. They could reattach it like they had to do for me, where my gutter kind of came away from the house. Siding issues, they carry James Hardy, the very best. They can fix that too. Basically, if it's something you could see from the outside of your home or your office, they can fix it, improve it, or replace it. Look, it's probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. Protect it. Absolutely. And nobody does it better than Allen Roofing. Check out all the reviews online. Everybody else seems to know. I shouldn't have to tell you these things. For all of your roofing needs and so much more, Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
I'm Reed Millard, president of Lupton Millard Chapel of St. Louis. We've been faithfully serving St. Louis families for generations. At Lupton Millard Chapel, we understand it's the little things that make a big difference for the families we serve. A traditional church funeral or a unique celebration of life. Providing the finest in services and attention to detail has always been the hallmark of our family.
Lupton Millard Chapel, the leader in excellence since 1905. For more information, go to LuptonMillardChapel.com.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon and then Paynin from tractor back put in another 72 hours. His son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
This salute to all farmers is proudly brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and the Big 550 KTRS.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green online at jewelsonhampton.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS St. Louis. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
To see what was real or if my mind was adrift. What I thought was an affection turned out to be a gift. Sensing the power of visualization, illuminating flashes with no hallucinations, only a receiver to the great unknown, a celestial connection on a cosmic phone.
That is from music from Nikola Tesla, the new musical written by our two guests here in studio, Mark and John Rogers. Mark and John Rogers, welcome to the Big 550 KTRS.
Boy, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
McGraw, thanks for having us.
You guys are St. Louisans?
We are. Yeah, we went to CBC, went to Crybaby College, went to St. Louis U.
All right, please send your letters in care of Mark and John Rogers at KTRS. Okay, now, before we get to Tesla, you have just finished, or just tell me about this Da Vinci Michelangelo experience.
No, it's our theater show, our theater play that we developed over 10 years ago when we were running the Da Vinci Machines exhibition.
Okay.
And we've actually toured the world with that. We were just, we ran over 100-plus shows off Broadway in New York.
Right.
Last September, we toured the UK. We did 28 shows in 30 days or 35 days. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to come up with another concept for another show, and most people don't know this, that Da Vinci and Michelangelo hated each other, and we talked about that during the show, whatever. And I wanted to come. It was really kind of a neat conflict that we have set up, and I wanted to come up with the same thing, and I wanted to come up with. We wanted to write a musical actually, and we wanted to combat. I love Tesla. And we thought of this, Da Vinci.
Tesla the car or Tesla the man?
Yeah, forget about Tesla the car.
Okay. Tesla the man.
That's why we named it Nikola Tesla.
Okay.
And so we wanted to come up with a concept, and I love Tesla, and we knew that they hated that experience that he had with Edison when he came over from Europe.
Right.
Ended in a complete disaster. And I was going to have a whole musical about the conflict between Tesla and Edison. But the more I got into it, and the more I found, that I got to be honest with you, that Edison, he was really not a nice guy, and he treated Tesla terrible.
Yes.
And the more that I got into it, the more that I found out about Tesla, and the more I found this amazing man, this amazing story. He's literally the Leonardo da Vinci of the 20th century.
He was a Russian immigrant, was he not?
No, he's from Slovenia. Slovenia.
Slovenia. Came over here.
Yes.
And he was the DC, right?
He was AC.
He was AC.
Alternating current.
Alternating current.
Yeah.
And Edison was the AC.
No, DC.
DC.
Yeah,
okay.
he was direct current.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Edison was direct current, and he was alternating current.
And it was like Microsoft versus Apple for
well,
world
actually,
supremacy.
The problem, the simple explanation was that on the direct current, you had to have too many substations. They could only go like a certain amount of miles. Then you had to have another substation, then another substation.
Mm-hmm.
While on Tesla's design, you could have what we use today, which lit the world. You can have one huge substation way out of town and use it with this alternating current.
The world premiere is called Nikola Tesla, Light It Up, an original rock opera. That was some of the songs. That was, that's about as rock opera as you get, that song.
Well, we wanted to do that. Actually, I mentioned it started out as a musical.
Right.
But the cost of putting on a musical is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So we, millions. And so we said, actually, John and I have two good friends of ours out in Los Angeles, and I sent them out there. One works for, I don't mind name dropping, and one works for CBS, and one works for Disney. And we sent out there to them and said, hey, listen to these songs we got for this, for our musical. And our good friend Paul from CBS called us back and said, guys, I got to be honest with you. You're never going to make this into a musical. You know that, right? I said, yeah, I know. I know. I said, it's Sting. And Sting, who we know and love so deeply. We know he had a musical that came out. Actually, he's reintroducing it. It's called The Last Ship.
Okay.
And he promptly lost, 3 years ago. He opened
All right,
on
so
Broadway.
hold on a second. So it's not a musical, but it's a rock opera. Explain the difference to people.
The stories told through music, through the music. There's virtually no dialogue.
Right.
There's no. It's going to. Each song leads itself on to the next one. The best way to describe it is Tommy. Is the best way to describe it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So where is this world premiere, and when is this world premiere?
It's Saturday night, June 20th. It's going to be at Delmore Hall.
Right.
Right in the heart of.
Right next to the pageant.
Okay.
Right next to the pageant.
Is it going to have a residency there? Or is this a one night only?
Well,
is it
this
3
is our
weeks,
first show. This is our first show.
This is our world premiere.
And it's going to be performed by the Jason Nelson Band. I don't know much about Jason Nelson here. He is St. Louis's. His band is one of the St. Louis's premier performers. The guys they do tributes to Queen and Sting and Talking Heads.
Right.
And yesterday he lit up the area downtown in Dogtown. Yesterday he just
for the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Brett,
Yeah.
he had Dogtown absolutely rocking yesterday.
Now, how is this getting? So June 20th.
June 20th.
So
Saturday night.
leading up to that, are you having rehearsals? Are you practicing, or what's
We're in it
going
now.
on?
We're in it now. They had all the songs. We have Jason Nelson is expanding his group. We're having electric violins. We're having electric cellos. It is going to but the song is just it's a rock opera. But we have Broadway songs. We've got jazz songs. We have everything to move the storyline along.
Yeah, because the story, even though there's no dialogue, the stories are like Les Mis is all sung more or less.
Right. So that's a good way to describe it.
You sing the plot along and so on and so forth.
Exactly right. Some are fun songs, but it's not all heavy. We have some really fun songs. We've got really Tesla when he wanted to send nonstop and high-speed radio transmissions from the United States to Europe, and he had to go to the high. He wanted to go to the highest point he could get to, and he traveled out to
Colorado.
Yeah, at Colorado Springs, and so he actually was able to harness the lightning. He actually blew the entire electrical grid. I'm not joking. He blew the entire electrical grid to Colorado Springs one night. And so we named the one song Colorado Cosmic Cowboy because that's truly what he is. He's
Yeah. Pretty fascinating stuff. Nikola Tesla is a great subject. Glad you guys are taking up. Who is the musician in this group?
Yeah,
we both are. We both went to Berklee College of Music up in Boston.
Right.
And when we graduated from St. Louis University back then, we actually went out to Los Angeles with a band, and we got jobs at CBS Television out there, and that's where we met our friend that we're still in contact with today.
Yeah.
So we've been writing music and we've been performing our whole
We
lives.
should say Berkeley up in Boston. That's the same university that was highlighted in the movie Coda, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
That wonderful story. And this Paul, from CBS, it's not Paul Schaefer, is it?
No.
Okay. That's the only Paul from CBS I know.
That'd be a good one.
All right. So how do you?
But the other one more point is that he loved Tesla loved to go have dinner every night at Delmonico's in New York.
Sure, downtown.
Yeah, downtown, and we wrote a song about that.
Oh my goodness!
And so
But the coolest story about
Delmonico's still there, by the way.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
They reopened. The neatest story about Tesla is when he beat out Thomas Edison with his alternating current in 1893 to light up the Columbian Exhibition in Chicago. He actually, when Edison did not get that bid, he was mad as hell. And he refused to sell Tesla and Westinghouse's incandescent bulb that he needed to light the Midway. So Tesla and Westinghouse had to invent a brand new light bulb overnight that they called the double stopper light bulb. It got him through the exhibition, but as we know, Thomas Edison's incandescent bulb won out in
the long run.
In the long run.
I thought you were going to tell me he invented the LED light bulb.
No. Anyway, Nikola Tesla himself was in Chicago and threw the switch that night, May 1st, 1893, that lit up 200,000 light bulbs at once.
Okay.
They said it was the greatest display of lighting that the world had ever seen. Do you know who was in the crowd that night that witnessed that lighting?
Who?
His name was L. Frank Baum. I'll put you on the spot. Who was that?
That's Wizard of Oz.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He remembered that night, May 1st, 1893, when Tesla threw that switch that lit up those 200,000 light bulbs at once, and that became his inspiration for the Emerald City when he wrote The Wizard of Oz.
How about that?
So we can literally say that Nikola Tesla truly is the original Wizard of Oz.
There we go.
And I've got a song about it, too.
All right. Now, hold on. We're going to play another song here. Do we have another song to play? What else are we going to play?
Not at the moment. We'll have it going into the next break.
Okay, going into the next break. All right, so where do we get tickets?
Okay, at Delmore Hall. Actually, go by Delmore Hall. You can save, these service fees nowadays. If you go by the Delmore Hall on Tuesdays and Fridays, you can buy it at face value with cash. Also, you can get them. They're open up 2 hours every day before each one of their shows.
Okay.
All right, go right online. Go right online and get it right away. Go TeslaLightItUp.com.
So it starts June 20th.
June 20th. It's one night only.
One night only.
One night only.
Holy mackerel. That's it. And then what are you going to do? Next to Broadway?
Well, we're
or
going to
what?
go on tour. Yeah, buddy, we're gonna go on tour, and we want to come back and
light it up.
We're going to light it up. We want to come back and
hold on. So when you guys hit it big and you're on Broadway and all this stuff, you're not going to return our phone calls.
Oh yeah, of course we will.
Come by and see the show.
The world premiere, Nikola Tesla, Light It Up, Delmar Hall, June 20th. 4 tickets. Go by the box office.
Or buy it online.
And what's the website online?
TeslaLightItUp.com.
TeslaLightItUp.com.
There you
or
go.
Delmar Hall.
All right. Mark and John Rogers. Next time, why don't you bring a little more energy to the show? Guys, good luck. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks for having us on.
You got it. 9:23 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Take it away.
McGraw, we have no accidents or slow traffic, just one minor problem. There's an issue with the signals at 109 South and Clayton Road near Lafayette High School in Wildwood. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk heating and cooling. Let's talk Gelmish & Sons. For all of your heating and cooling needs, Gelmish is your go-to. Why? They've been in business for 76 years, and at Gelmish & Sons, still run by the family that opened the doors 76 years ago. Hedge funds come in and buy up these names of these family-run heating and cooling companies, and they fire everybody and jack up the price. That's your choice. Or Gelmish & Sons, right? Family-run, family-operated. Gelmish cannot believe some of the prices people are paying to fix their heating and cooling. So don't get fooled. Go with the family that's been doing this for 76 years. The preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. They'll fix any make, any model. They'll install a new Lennox air conditioner or a furnace. It's Gelmish for 76 years, going strong. 314-993-1110 or gelmishandsons.com.
Get ready to launch into an out-of-this-world adventure with the St. Louis Blues. On March 26th, the Blues face off against the San Jose Sharks in an epic showdown in Enterprise Center. It's Star Wars theme night. Purchase a special theme ticket and receive an exclusive Blues Grogu bobblehead, the perfect addition to your Star Wars collection. Our in-game experience will be out of this world as well, with movie-related content and galactic characters roaming the concourse. Secure your seats now at stlouisblues.com/promotions.
Are you ready for tax season? A new administration in Washington guarantees there are changes to the tax law coming. Don't let changes to the tax code catch you off guard. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, and the soon-to-be-released book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. For 50 years, our team has helped hundreds of area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax laws. To learn more, give us a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
AAA Home Services is a local, family-owned American Standard heating and air conditioning platinum dealer that's been optimizing indoor air quality for 56 years. Winter's here. Now's a great time to have AAA service your furnace, replace the filter, and reset your humidifier. And if you need a new furnace, they'll give you a fair and honest estimate on American Standard, voted #1 by Consumer Reports. Call AAA Home Services at 636-397-3200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Spring is in the air, my favorite time of the year. I'm buying and selling, of course, cars and motorcycles daily. I like to buy a few cars a day at this time of year, and I like to buy them directly from the owner. We carry only hand-selected vehicles, and I like to meet the people they come from. It's as much a people business as it is a car business. If you're in the St. Louis metro area, I'll even come to your house to purchase your vehicle, especially if you have more than one to sell or even an entire collection. We're always on the hunt for super clean, rare, and unique vehicles. I'll even buy everyday cars if they have low miles and are exceptionally clean. Hop on my site, MasterCarsInc.com, and submit what you've got to sell. We buy, sell, and trade every single day.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Hey, Anne Marie here, host of the Inside Out Show and owner of Anne Marie Design Studio for Black Fox Cooper, St. Louis's premier Anderson certified contractor. That means every window they install meets Anderson's exacting quality standards, and the installation is guaranteed for 2 years, in addition to the 20-year warranty on the glass. With over 20 years of experience and knowing our climate, Black Fox Cooper will install the optimal windows to keep your home comfortable and efficient year-round, and most projects are completed within a day or two with minimal disruption to your daily routine.
Call 314-270-1484 or online at blackboxcooper.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Perceived an unperceivable spark that ignited this supernatural ignition, beguiled this novice from apprentice to master magician. The inventor is himself an invention, receivers pointed in heaven's direction, unveiling gadgets, gizmos, machines, and mechanisms beyond human conception. Riding the lightning at the top of my game, my will and my wish.
Heavy Metal Wednesday here on the Big 550 KTRS. That's the music from Nikola Tesla. Light it up, baby. Light it up. The world premiere. Delmore Hall, the pageant, June 20th. By our last guests, Mark and John Rogers. CBC grads.
That's how I found out about it in the CBC.
Who have gone on
newsletter.
to become producers, I guess. So there you go. All right. Phone numbers are as follows. 314-931-5877. 314-931-5877. Or text your comments to 84126. What I'm about to tell you is a true story. So I've been working here since 2004. 2005? 2005. Carney's been working here, I don't know, 2009? 10? Maybe? Both here a long time. The other day, I get a text message from a future guest, and the future guest says, give me the number to call the show. And oftentimes we just give the guest the call-in number, right? There's a hotline, but it's just easier to give them the sort of call-in number, right? The 314, the 931-5877 number. So I'm walking past Carney's cubicle, and I'm like, 314, I don't know. So I walk into Carney's office, and I'm like, look, I'm going to ask you a question, and it's going to be a stupid question. But I really, really, really don't have time to give me 20 minutes of Carney grief. I'm going to ask you a simple question. It's a stupid question. Just put up with me and give me the answer. He's like, what do you got?
He loved that setup too, I bet.
He goes, all right, what do you got? I go, what's the call-in number? and he looks at me and he goes, well, Max always puts it on my sheet. Hold on, let me find the sheet here. And he finds the sheet and he goes, it's 314-931-5877. I'm like, great, thank you very much. Neither one of us could recall the number to KTRS after working here for combined 35 years.
So if you would ask me that question, I would have to type it in because I always have to text it to Antonio French twice a week. So I would go, and I have it ready to set. All I have to do is press send. So that's how I would have given it to you.
I got so many numbers rattling around in my head. Hey, what? But I didn't know it. But he didn't know it either. He was like, hold on a second. Max puts it on my sheet every day. So there you go. The phone number is 314-931-5877. Or text your pithy and interesting comments to 84126.
Now, I bet you know that one off the top of your head.
84126? Yeah, that one's, don't have a problem with that one. 84126.
I'm sure it spells something.
I have given out my phone number on the cell phone from time to time, which my brain doesn't work like that, where I give out a number. I have no idea what numbers. I don't compute numbers.
But I bet you know your Uncle Charlie's phone number.
Well, I only know Uncle Charlie's phone number because it was my grandmother's phone number, and that's my phone number now.
Which is weird.
Yeah. So,
instead of 212, it's 314.
Yeah, it's 314, and the prefix is different, but the last four are the same because. I don't know, because you can pick your own number. And somebody's like, you can pick your own number. I was like, oh, and making a little ode to Grandma's house. And so you sort of go from there. All right. 314-931-5877. Text your comments, 84126. We were talking about this earlier, and that is the Illinois primary where Juliana Stratton wins 35% of the vote, means 70% of the people voted for somebody else. No greater example of ranked choice voting in Illinois than that. She won. There were three main vote getters, Raj and this Robin. Raj got 30. She got 36. And so if they had ranked choice voting, I think it would be very different. And I when I first heard of it, I thought it was a crazy idea. But the more and more you sort of think about it, the more and more it makes sense. And they really should have a runoff. Right? They have so many people running. They should take at least take the two top vote getters and have another runoff, or do some type of ranked choice voting or open voting like they have in the city to get a more representative view of who won. So you got that on the docket. And then St. Louis County announced that they are going to put on the ballot on August 4th. St. Louis County voters are going to be able to vote on whether or not you want to tax yourself in St. Louis County an extra 3.5% sales tax on all out-of-state purchases. The state has a use tax. Towns have a use tax. St. Charles County has a use tax. I think it's 1.7%. What is a use tax? That's what they're calling a tax on out-of-town purchases. Because if you buy from the brick and mortar store down the street, you pay the sales tax of that town. When you buy online, there quote-unquote isn't any sales tax. Well, the state passed a law that there's a state sales tax on it. And depending on what town you live in or county you live in, there's other taxes on that as well. And so when people say, wait a minute, I already buy stuff from Amazon and there already is a tax on it. Yes, there is. That might be from the state. That might be from your local town. But the county wants to now add another tax onto your out-of-town internet purchase of 3.5%. So you know how everybody wants 88 municipalities. Well, your municipality wants to put a use tax on so that they can fund all of the things you get from your neighborhood mayor and alderman. So when Mrs. Jones's cat is up in the tree, they need money to send somebody out to get that cat. Somebody's got to pay for it, and that's where the use tax comes in. So the county is saying, look, we're running massive deficits, and so we need a use tax. And so they want to put a 3.5% on top of all of the other use taxes that are there, right? So the sales tax has a state sales tax, a neighborhood sales tax, a zoo museum tax, right? All these other different taxing districts that are attached to sales tax. now they just want to add a use tax on top of that for St. Louis County, 3.5%. They tried this before and it failed. I want to say 2022, 2021, 2023, sort of right in there. It failed. I don't know if it got caught up in the whole COVID thing or anything else, but it failed. But they're going to try again. They say it could generate $75 million in revenue for county government. I do find it interesting that county government wants to cap property taxes, right? Senior property taxes. But we don't have enough money, so let's raise the use tax 3.5%. They think it'll raise $75 million in revenue for St. Louis County government. Just sort of curious if you would be voting in favor of that or not. I mean, as we said earlier, it's so much easier to pass something if you vilify a group of people. So if you would, if you could say something along the lines of, hey, it's a tax on 3.5%, but we're going to kick out all the transgender people and make them sleep in a tent. 3.5% sales tax, but we are going to take all the books off the library shelves so those liberals won't be able to read those terrible books. They'll still be able to go online and look at all the vile stuff online, but heaven forbid they go to the arts and entertainment section and see a naked woman in a book. That would be unacceptable, right? So you have to pass a tax, you have to vilify somebody or something, make them less than human.
Or at least call it that.
Or, yeah, exactly, right, yeah. So the 3.5% sales tax in the county goes towards paying for your car, right? It's going to pay everyone's car tax. No, I don't know. But they have to come up with a better reason than we need money to close the deficit in St. Louis County. But we'll see how all that works. 314-931-5877. Text your comments to 84126. From the 314, let me just hit this button here. People don't understand that if we do not tax things that are ordered online, St. Louis County is going to suffer a terrible financial deficit. We don't pay that sales tax online as well. That is true. It's not fair to the brick and mortar stores. You go down to the store, you buy a widget, there's an 8 or 9 or 10% sales tax on that widget. You go online, there's still a tax on that widget, but not 8 or 9 or 10% like it would be in the store. So there's an incentive to go online as opposed to buying in the brick and mortar store. I agree with you. That's bad. However, I don't know if people would say, let's raise the taxes online. I think the people would say, great, let's lower the taxes in the brick and mortar store. But that's not going to work either. 314, not a chance. Maybe 3.5%, way too high. It's not on top of the other taxes because those orders from out of state are not charged a tax. Look, I'm not a taxing expert. I know that the county, St. Charles County, has a tax. The state has a use tax. So the county, St. Louis County, would put this is their own tax on top of whatever you're purchasing, on top of the city tax. You wouldn't be charged 3.5% twice. You'd be charged the state use tax and the county use tax, and then the municipality use tax if your municipality has a use tax. 618, we like how elections are run in Illinois. Keep your comments to yourself. That's hard to do as a talk show host. 314, honey, that is not heavy metal. It's kind of heavy metal. Isn't that music kind of heavy metal?
I could see how someone that really likes heavy metal would say that is not heavy metal.
I could see how somebody who doesn't know anything about music could say that sounds like heavy metal. 314, nothing is free. Here's another one. It's as a small business, people can come into my shop and look for samples and get all kinds of advice and then go and purchase it online and not pay taxes. It's not fair to small businesses. Totally agree. Totally 1,000% agree. Not fair in 100 different ways. Totally agree. I don't know what you do about it, but it's not fair. And if you did it to them, they'd scream bloody murder. I agree. Totally, totally wrong. Joe, line 1, good morning on the Big 550 KTRS.
Yeah, I just want to let you know, Amazon purchases are taxed no matter what in this city because we have a facility, a warehouse facility in St. Louis. If you have distribution centers in the state, then you have to pay the sales tax on it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's companies that don't have, that you can purchase from, they don't actually have distribution centers in here. So just as an off-the-wall example, Ronco isn't in here, and they don't build here. So if you did order anything from Ronco, as an example, online, then you don't pay.
Right.
But if you buy it off Amazon, you still would because they got a distribution center here.
Well, somebody's paying. They think the tax could generate $75 million in revenue. So there's enough people buying stuff from out of the state that don't have any connections in the state that it would be worth $75 million a year for the county government to put on.
Right, because, let's just say LG. You buy a TV directly from LG, you're not paying any tax on it because they don't have.
No. I get you, right? But I mean, it's still money you weren't paying before, but now you're
right.
paying. Yeah.
Right, but they kind of updated that a few years back because it used to be anything you purchased, you never paid sales tax, but that's why they added all that stuff to it.
Is that why sometimes when you buy something in Illinois, they say if I ship it to you, you won't have to pay the sales tax?
Correct.
Yeah, but now you would,
correct,
or at least you'd have to pay the 3.5% use tax if you lived in the county.
Correct.
Yeah, interesting. Joe, are you voting for or against this?
Oh, I'm voting against it.
Okay. All right. Joe, thanks for the phone call. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
You got it. 9:45 here, Big 550 KTRS. I believe on line 2 is Steve. Is it Steve? Steve, good morning, Steve. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Morning. Hey, on the local shops, and I agree, it happens all the time. You go and you look at something and figure out what you want, and you go to Amazon and buy it. Why don't they charge a fee at the door to come in? And if you buy something, that fee goes towards the purchase. If not,
I mean, I guess you could. Like a cover charge, like a cover charge with a 2-drink minimum that you have to pay to get in to look to see if you want to buy shoes.
Yes, it's not going to stop. People are going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're old enough to remember when cable TV first came out. The whole selling point for cable TV was, guess what? No commercials. Remember that? No commercials on cable TV because you're paying for a fee. We don't have to advertise.
Yeah.
Now it's all over the place. That's just something that's going to have to evolve. You can't help that. It's not going to change. Rather than complain about it, charge $3 at the door to come in, and if you buy something, that fee goes towards the purchase. Whether it's sales tax or whatever, if you don't buy something, thanks for coming in.
Well, the other thing that goes on, Steve, thanks for the phone call. The other thing that goes on is the geofencing, and this happens at the big box stores. So if you're, let me see if I get this right. If you're in the parking lot of a big box store, and you go onto the website on your phone on the big box store, the phone knows you're outside of the store and therefore might give you a less expensive price because you can go somewhere else, right? So you pick a big box store, you're in the parking lot, you're looking for a shoe. You find the shoe you want, it's $35. You go in, okay, good. I'll go into the store and take a look at it myself. You go in the store, and the store has it at $42 because the store knows if you want it and you're in the store, you're going to go and buy it. So they play that game too, the big box stores. Now, the local retailers, they're not so sophisticated. They don't play that game. They don't. I would think 99.9% of them probably think that's bogus, and why would they do that? They give you a fair price. They think you should pay whether you're inside or outside or wherever else. But the big box stores, they're all about hedging. Right there, if they can get 50 cents or $1 or $2 or $3 more for every pair of shoes they sell, that's millions of dollars. And so that's how they play that game. So that geofencing plays a lot into this as well. But the county 6-1, they voted to put that on the ballot in August. It'll be interesting to see if that thing passes. But a 3.5% use tax on all out-of-state purchases. We'll see how that all turns out. All right, 9:48 here, Big 550 KTRS. The weather's going to turn nice, very soon. And that, you know what that means? Here come the weeds. Yep, you can already start to see them. Unless, of course, you get the Fertilome and you put down the Fertilome so you can stop the weeds from coming up. It's called a pre-emergent. Before, emerge. So you want to treat the weeds before they emerge from the soil. And the best way to do that is to go to Fertilome. Now, when I say go to Fertilome.com, type in your zip code, or maybe after all these years where you can get your Fertilome from an authorized dealer. Walk in, and you're not going to go to the big box stores. You're going to go to the local independent guys. And you're going to pick up a couple bags, depending on how big your yard is, and you're going to get it down. And when you do, you're going to see something magical happen. Your lawn will green up like that. I just snapped my fingers. Secondly, it's going to stop the weeds from coming up. So if you do nothing else, this is going to go a long way into having the greenest yard and the greenest lawn in the hood. Crabgrass preventer plus lawn food, Fertilome, Ferti, Fertilome, Lome, Fertilome, or Fertilome.com.
Baseball is a story told across generations, through the players, the moments, and the gloves that shape the game. Now, that story comes to life in Rawlings, the Finest in the Field book, available now on Rawlings.com. Each of the featured 50 gloves is presented through the detailed photography and paired with essays that place the artifact within its historical context. And additional memorabilia further illuminate the era each glove represents. Reserve your copy today on Rawlings.com and be among the first to experience baseball's evolution as told through the story of these iconic gloves.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Tune in to the Big Sports Show with Greg and Weesey every Thursday night at 8:02 for the Illini Report. Powered by Woods Basement Systems.
For up-to-date info on the Illinois men's basketball team
on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I want to buy your home. Any property, any condition, and always as is. I will pay top dollar with no contingencies and no inspections. You walk away with cash. So don't waste time and money making repairs and paying real estate commissions. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. Or go to robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the Control Option Mindset featuring the Lifetime and Generational Income Maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at The Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, let me give a shout out. Speaking of small businesses, I just got the lawnmower fixed and tuned up for the upcoming season. And I got a shout out a couple years ago. I got a shout out from somebody on the text line. I said, you need to check out 618 Turf. And so I called up 618 Turf, and they are my go-to. They're in New Minden, Illinois. And yeah, they make trips to St. Louis. But 618 Turf is the great, great company. They went in and did a once-over. They came to the house, and they picked up my machine. They brought it to their office. They fixed it all up. They dropped it off. New equipment, pre-owned, financing, parts and service. Yeah, all that stuff. 618 Turf in New Minden, Illinois, if you are so inclined. Check them out. They're great and good peeps over there. And New Minden's a little bit of a drive, but it is well worth it. They are a great small business. New Minden, Illinois, on 3rd Street over there. Go take a nice little drive in the country and have a nice day for yourself if you're so inclined. 618 Turf over there in New Minden. Rick, line 1, good morning. Welcome to KTRS Radio.
Hi, McGraw.
How are you?
Excuse me. The sales tax they want to, or the use tax, and then the state wants to do away with income tax and turn it into sales tax, which is going to be, like 10 to 15%. To make up what they're going to lose from the income tax. And pretty soon we're going to be paying 25 or 30% sales tax on stuff.
Okay, well, I don't think it's going to be that high, but it could very easily be 13, 14, 15%. Right? If you're in the
it's already 10%.
It's already 10%, right. It's already 10%. If you put a 3.5%, well, it's hold on a second. It's already 10 or 9 or 8. I guess there's some places that are 8. The state could add 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Nobody really knows because they're not telling us. So it could be, 12, 13, 14%, depending on where you are.
Well, this state's already 3%, and now they're going to add, another 5, 7. Well, who knows? How much they haven't said. Like you said,
yeah.
How much it's going to take to replace the income tax?
Right. Yeah. No. There's a lot of things coming down the pike that the voters going to have to be asked about, and it's coming. But this first one, they're going to ask the voters, do you want them to do away with the state income tax? Now, who's going to vote against that?
Yeah.
Right.
I know, but it doesn't. But then they say, oh, they can tax sales tax on everything else, like doctor visits or, buying the car.
Well, there already is a sales tax on the car, but no, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. You're right, Rick. There's going to be a lot of people are going to be like, great, no income tax. That's the greatest thing in the world. And then they're going to find their sales tax is going to be 13, 14%.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. It's a thing. It's a thing. Rick, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. From the 314, the bees need the dandelions for pollen. Stop using pre-emergent. Sorry, bees. Get your pollen over my neighbor's yard. 314, no thanks, McGraw. We don't need your MAGA Republican ranked choice bull dinkies over here. It's our pleasure to have a black woman as our senator. Something you will never have as a Missourian. All right. The song sounds like the theme song to the 1960s show called Secret Agent. The song was called Secret Agent Man. Secret Agent Man, Secret Agent Man. Joe, I'll be canceling out your vote. I'm voting for the tax. Hey, McGraw, last night data centers were having a hearing went on for 11 hours. After the meeting was over, the big fiber optic cable was cut and will be down until 2:30. Strange. Interesting. Can you play Ambrosia's top songs? We could only hope you can play Ambrosia's songs. I have just enough time to tell you about a dear
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
friend of mine, Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. He's a friend of yours, too. If you've purchased a car from Johnny Londoff, he's your bestie. 85 years there's been a Londoff selling cars here in St. Louis, and if you're looking for a car, a brand new Chevy, Yes. A brand new pre-owned car for you? Yes. Carve Bravo, absolutely. The Carve Bravo vehicle undergoes a rigorous inspection and a certification process prior to any sale. In addition, the Carve Bravo vehicles have an extensive warranty and better interest rates and better financing deals. Johnny Londoff, pre-owned certified lifetime powertrain. The Chevy's got all the technology in the car, whether it's an EV, whether it's a pre-owned vehicle, whether it's a late model SUV. They got them all at 2 locations, on Highway 70 and the Washington Elizabeth exit. That's the world headquarters. And their second location, the Autoplex, the Londoff Autoplex, right there at Highway 70 and Highway 79. Don't forget about service, too. 2 service departments. Doesn't matter if you purchase the car there. It doesn't matter what type of car, foreign, domestic. Londoff will fix it and fix it right. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet or Londoff.com. We're done. Have yourself a good day. Looks like Alvin Reed is in the house. Who's he filling on? He's just filling for Cusimano, isn't he? Yeah. All right. Thanks for putting up with me. We'll see you tomorrow. So long, everybody.
Only 2 seconds left. He shoots. He scores. Game over. It's the end of the game for you and your car. To get the deal you want, you've only got one shot. That's why you go to HW Kia. HW Kia delivers the best Kia buying experience in the Loop. No pressure, no games, no nonsense. Right now, you can score a brand new HW Kia K4 for just $199 a month. That's a new K4 for under $200 a month on a 24-month lease. Has your credit been keeping you out of the game? Nobody works harder to help get you approved than HW Kia.
Hey everybody, remember, Big D wants to see ya in an HW Kia.
HW Kia, in the heart of West County on Manchester Road. Start now at hwkia.com.
With approved credit, 2025 Kia K4, $34.95 due at signing, 10,000 miles per year, no security deposit plus tax title license.